Yeah, I got some. Should I go grab some more?
Yeah, grab some beers. Hey, we're just getting the live stream fired up here, getting people ready to go, and then we'll get into her here. I made her by like a second without. Well, my shop was super dirty. I just did the rotors on this car. I just cleaned everything up, cleaned my bench up, put all my tools away, and with literally putting my jacket on, my hat on, I come here, and right when I hit 0, I click ready to go. So let me know if you can see the stream, if it looks clear, how the audio looks, and then we can continue on. Everything looking good. The Mac Ronicle, thank you very much. Thank you for confirming. The audio is good. The quality of video is good. It's not glitchy. AWG Darkbolt looks good, man. Sounds good too. Thank you very much. Stream fill up here a bit, and then we will get into some chats, talk about some things. For now, while we wait to get started, what are some subjects that y'all would like to talk about today? Because there's a lot. There's a lot of subjects. We can talk about life, politics. We can talk about all sorts of things. Politics, though, I don't know. I got to be careful because every time I talk about it, the way I do, it's me. It's not just the political subject. It's the way I talk about it and the words I use. They deem me unnecessary for monetization, and I don't know how the algorithms work, but I feel like if I'm not getting monetized and I'm constantly pumping out content that is not within YouTube's terms of service, which is just hard to accept, but I feel like every time I do that, it'll trigger the algorithm to not work in my favor, and I've been doing things right, it seems, lately because my subscriber base started to grow, and my videos are getting recommended apparently more often, so let's hope that's all true. But yeah, so I'm not going to get as, I don't know, as opinionated or maybe not as aggressively toned as I usually would if we do talk about politics. There's a lot of things to get angry over, a lot of things to be upset about. Left tube's term of service, who know, the goalpost keeps on moving. That's very true, it does keep moving. The old lube tube, left tube's always changing things, so. Look at all that horsepower and sexiness, Dylan Ashley. I actually just took the, Dylan, I don't know if you watched my story today, but I took this thing for a good tear. And, buddy, it's a real race car now. It's a little aggressive. I just did the rotors on this one. I'm going to take it for a test drive right before I start this live stream. And one side is gripping really hard and smoking like a bastard and actually kind of discolored the rotor. It didn't warp it, but it discolored it. So I got to pull the wheels off again and see why that one side is sticking so hard. Maybe bleed the system a bit, but yeah, we're good there. I took it for a rip. I did one of my first 6,000 RPM pulls in it. I did, I broke the engine in. For those of you who don't know, it's got a brand new 383 stroker in it based off an LS6. And broke the engine in the last couple of days, kind of doing moderate and aggressive pulls with it and decels and stuff to seat the rings. It seems to have stopped smoking out of the tailpipes and out of the breather. So I think the rings are seated now. And it's making good power. It's really rowdy. I got one double adjustable coilovers on it and stuff. So it seems to be riding nice, a little bouncy. Got to play with the rebound on the coilovers, but it seems to be a nice driver's car now. It's a little aggressive though, a little loud, vibration-y, but that is the nature of a race car. But yeah. Hey, made in 86. Burning question is, who's the blonde in the Shambhala trailer? I'll take 2. I don't know which one. Depends on where in the trailer. Blonde. I don't know. A couple blondes in there, I think. Yeah, weirdo. Okay, we're gonna get in some beers tonight. I don't know who else is drinking. I'll show you this. I'll show you the sunset we got cooking out here in Foothills County. Buddy. Depends, he says. Is it one of my boyfriends? Look at that. God's land. Trying to figure out the proper focus on this thing.
Holy smokes, that's a nice sunset.
Oh, yeah? You got some beers?
We got 9 sitting here.
Are you heading out yet? We'll see you in a bit.
I'll be 10 minutes, eh?
10 minutes?
Yeah.
Can you bring me one for the temporary?
Yes.
Maybe two, so I can just kind of get into her?
Yeah.
Oh, buddy's got him. Say hi, Colin, everyone. This is Colin.
Hey, folks.
Colin Gluckenickner.
Coming from Golden, British Columbia. Recently coming from Burning Man Festival. I don't know if anybody's out there from Americas.
Or Canada that went.
Yeah, if you're into that. Gonna just grab some beer. We're gonna sit down, have some chats. Truthfully Talks podcast we did one time. Homies from British Columbia.
Homies. From back in BC. Oh, the plumber's gone. So what was I gonna say again? Oh yeah, so I did a podcast with Colin back on his podcast, True Glue Talks, back around the convoy. I was in Ottawa, and we did one there. Sat down in the motorhome and I live streamed with him while he was, where was he? He was in Mexico, so that was cool. The two yellows look sick together. Thanks, Dylan Ashley. W6 up and running. Yep, maintenance up and running. It's chopping really aggressively. It is a really fun car. Lots of torque. Lots of sand. Sitting here in K-Town. Where's K-Town? I know a bunch of K-Towns. Not as good as that turbo, yo. Buddy. Oh, buddy. She wants to bark. Jane Bray, Vancouver Island watching. Love you, Tanner. Love you too, Jane. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, so what can we talk about? Paul, I want to talk about politics. I always want to talk about them. I like them. It's like a good subject to talk about. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like when I'm on live streams or I'm doing anything YouTube, as far as like engaging with an audience, I feel like, especially this audience, especially you guys, I feel like politics is a good subject. And what's been happening across Canada. I don't really, God, I hate to admit, but I don't watch as much anymore. Thanks, North Country. Yeah, great border crossings. Yeah, I was wanting to get out there and let people know they can travel. This has been a thing for a while you could do. You could do this for the last year, apparently. But yeah, I tried her out, and buddy, it works. You just go across there, and you tell them, hey, bud, kick rocks. Down in the States, they ask you, they say, have you been vaccinated? And then you say, oh yeah, I got like 9 boosters. Ooh, I said that word. Is that going to get me? We're going to find out that gets me demonetized. But they ask you, and then you tell them, yes, I have. And then they say, okay, that's it. They don't ask for anything. Coming back, they ask you about ArriveCan. They ask you to fill out the form, or if you're interested, and like in the video shows, you tell them no. Yeah, that's where we're at. Hey, Tanner from High River, seen you at the car show. Oh, thanks, Kim. I was supposed to be in the burnout competition there on Friday night, but I was late for registration by 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So, oh well. Is what she be. Who else is drinking? I don't know where Buddy went, but we got these in the States there yesterday or the day before. Went down to Eureka, Montana. Ale IPAs. Hashtag Trudeau must go. That's been trending, and they tried to say it's bots. They tried to say it's bots. Oh my God. You ever notice on the left anything that they disagree with? If they're like from a movement on the right, or more centralized, whatever. Let's just say we're the vicious right. Anything that comes from the right that has a movement in social media or has support is deemed a bot. So crazy. People telling individual stories. Remember Convoy? Convoy had Russian funding. Donald Trump was funding it. All these outside sources were funding it. It wasn't grassroots Canadians funding it. No, bots and Russian misinformation, disinformation, interference board, or whatever they call it. And then they invoked the act off said premises, and one of the many they've used, the 3, I think there was 3 main ones they used, that being one of them. Then when finding out that was not true, and that was all bullshit after the investigation concluded, that I think 90-something% of it, or the vast majority, was Canadian funded. That's crazy. And then they didn't apologize for it. They just just kept it going. And now they're getting challenged in court over it. They got to put it in front of a non-partisan judge, which I don't know if I believe that. And then once you put it in front of said judge, then he gets to make the ultimate decision whether or not they had justification for invoking it. So I don't know how they're going to have justification for invoking it when they invoked it off a complete lie, propaganda, off a news title from CBC. Oh, these guys are so nuts. They're frickin'. Yeah, Diagolon. They tried to say Diagolon was real. Jeremy McKenzie. That's another thing we could talk about. Ugh, that's a bad one. Buddy, Jeremy McKenzie, that's a bad one. That's, and people were kind of telling me, like, hey, man, I'll get into what people were saying to me. But here's my opinion on it. For those of you who don't know, Jeremy McKenzie from Raging Dissident went on a live stream with a feller there last week, and he said that he was going to, I can't say it on here because I'll get demonetized, but sexually assault Pierre's wife, the leader of the Conservative Party. He didn't say he's going to. He was joking, okay? And here's the point where people are like, yeah, this isn't a joke, man. I'm like, listen, I do not, I think it's horrible. I think it's the dumbest fucking thing he could have ever done. Like, the dumbest thing he could have done, especially in his position with his following, with the movement we have right now. What he said was absolutely just, like, the dumbest thing. Absolutely silly. But he's got dark comedy. And he says crazy stuff. He said really crazy. If you go back on his stuff, he says crazy shit. Like, crazy comedian stuff. So when he went and said that, though, I mean, there's things that are just like, you don't say them. And I don't want to be that person who's like, oh man, we got to like stop comedy and this and that. And he can say whatever he wants on his own channel, sure. But I mean, in the movement, with the momentum you're trying to gain and the voice that you have and the people who have backed you and supported you, aka James Top, Veterans for Freedom, stuff like that, when you have those people backing you, and you have those people that, you don't speak for, but they back you and you guys interchange between each other's channels, there's certain things you just don't say in the political spectrum. And he said it. He said some vicious shit, jokes or not. And the one thing where I will say was completely just a little over the top was the comment they said about how he made these sexual threats or these they're threats, but they weren't. It was a joke, and it's a bad joke. It's a horrible joke. It's a shitty joke. He never should have said it. I was shocked when I heard it, and I think everybody that I know in this commentary kind of field has said it. Everybody, they're like, what the hi man, what are you saying? But it's important that we don't go down that road of oh that's a threat, because it wasn't a threat. It was not as in I'm gonna do this. It was like a really stupid, bad, horrible joke. That's sad that happened to him. Then he got arrested for these other charges he had against him, which I don't know. I never looked into that, but I know for a fact, like his girlfriend, I think it's Morgan, that got arrested, and she was held for a long time over like some stupid misdemeanor charge of like accidentally forgetting to pay for fuel or whatever it may have been when she left the gas station. So obviously they got red targets on their back, so there's gonna be some pretty aggressive shit towards them. But the wording of it, context is often ignored, like North Country just said. Context is often ignored. So coming from Pierre's side, saying that it was a threat, I have faith in him. But when he says it's a threat, I'm kind of like, are you now playing in this this kind of liberal type headline game where we're just getting these really crazy headlines that just kind of are far from the truth, or they're manipulative of the truth? I don't know. Let me know in the comments here what you think. But we'll go and read some comments here because I was just ranting for a bit. Left off at Jane Bray. They tried to say Diagolong is real. That's funny. Rachel Gilmore from Global News. Oh my God, she's a treat. I'm glad people like her exist. They're also horrible for the planet. They're horrible for the people, but it's really funny watching people like that. Jackie, where's Jackie? Jackie, you there? Brandon 22. What? I don't understand. Tanner, don't follow politics. It just stops you from living. They will get. That's true. That's true. But here's my opinion on that. They'll get theirs. The best thing you do yourself is like just live. I get that. And I do. Like I did that for years. I ignored it, and then the whole pandemic thing happened, and I had to take a stand, and I got involved, and I'd been educating myself for years on kind of what's going on and how the system works. And I'm not by any means a specialist, but I understand how governments like to overreach and do things. So I felt like I had to stand up, and now I'm actually into it. I'm interested by it. I don't let it affect my day. I have a comical take on a lot of these things. I think they're ridiculous, but I feel like people never you always hear people say, politics are a rude thing to bring up at the dinner table. No one ever did it back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, so on. It was never a thing. People never did it, and I get why. But those years, I think that was actually damaging by the public not engaging as much. I feel like it was really damaging because no one engaged or talked about it. So the politics just kind of got away with a lot more shit because people were supposed to trust them. And then they raised their children, put them in school, which I personally believe the school system is a breeding system of people who want the kids to share the same ideology as the government. So as generation by generation, people lost more control and more laws came in, more rules. They abused any sort of emergency situation to gain more power, pass more laws when people were distracted. And now we're at the point where people are starting to talk about politics. And I think there's a good reason. People are getting passionate, talking about politics and wanting to say, hey, what's going on, man? Because it is. I mean, what's going on? Why has it gotten to this point? Because people have not engaged or talked about it. And now we are. And I think it's what we have to do to get control of this situation, because people just want nothing to do with politics. And that's why they're doing whatever they want, because people are just like, I'd rather not, you know? Reading on. Howdy from Montreal, from Ron. Hey, Ron, from Alberta, Canada. Think Will Smith SmackDown? Will Smith, he's coming back, baby. I'm waiting for him to come and do his famous slap, but I'm waiting for him to hit Trudeau. Imagine that. Another thing we're going to talk about is Trudeau. I think he's going to be ousted as the leader of the Liberal Party. What happened to Mackenzie proves Pierre is just another drama teacher? Yes, but no. Don't know yet. Pay attention to it, but I don't know why you'd kind of frame it like that. Kind of sounds like something a liberal would do, so watching that carefully for sure. Mackenzie also crossed a line in the political world. Like I said, he had people on his side who had to issue, not apologies, but say they're not related or affiliated with him, like Veterans for Freedom. He had a good backing with the Veterans for Freedom stuff. James Topp. Other YouTubers who have had, big YouTubers that had on his channel to talk. And then he just goes and he says something, and he says, oh, I was just drunk. It's like, that's a crazy thing to say. When you know, when things are tense and they're already coming after him because that Diagolon troll, that's good. Never forget that. Always praise him for that. But after the Diagolon troll, I mean, God, you got people like Rachel Gilmore who pretend to be these really friendly, nice, family-friendly reporters, but they're not. They're crazy. They're crazy people. She's a crazy person with a huge ego, so they were hunting him down. So for him to say what he said in that moment was the dumbest thing you could have done. So there's a lot of just holy F going on there, a lot of drama. And we're reading on. Jason Scaletta, good evening, bud. Good evening, Jason. You and Brandon? I'm in Alberta. Go boy, exactly how I think. Yep, awesome. Illuminati card. Chris Waters, was there an Illuminati card about the pipeline being destroyed? Didn't pay attention to that. Honestly, right now I'd be watching the Ragecast. It's a good one. Crazy. Pipeline not destroyed. So hold until Pierre. Yeah, I hope he does something with that. I don't know, man. These politicians always promise everything and then they do nothing. You know, I mean, they do things, but they don't, like on their main things they're talking about. But if he does the things he said he's going to do, then he is going to be the most legendary prime minister in history, I think. Or one of them. If he doesn't, we're screwed anyways. If we're not getting out of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not. It's just if that's how dark rooted it is, deep rooted it is, we're screwed. Exactly. Pierre, love the rants, bro. Biden called out for Jackie, who's been dead since August. Oh yeah, I seen that today. That's right. She died in a car accident or something like that. And he's just like rambling on about her. He's gone. He's so gone. He's not running the country. People who think that guy's running the country, I think they're nuts. People who think that he's like in charge of everything, like they're nuts. The guy can't even ride a pedal bike, for God's sakes. He's gone. You know, and that's what happens when you get like, oh, I don't like Trump. I don't like Trump. Trump's this, Trump's that. Bad. Orange man bad. Orange man bad. And then you get a guy like that because the one guy was so polarizing, which I'll agree Trump was. Because, I mean, I troll people a lot. And I know people think that I'm just the biggest piece of shit, even though I'm like completely joking. I'm just prying on their egos to get them going. I do that, and I see that people hate me because of it, and that's what Trump did. He'd just sit on the shitter in the morning and he'd tweet, and then people would just lose their minds. It was so good. I personally liked it. Polarizing, not the best for America, I don't know. But what I do know is that if Ron DeSantis were to run, I think that guy'd be a really good choice for America because that guy is at the helm of pushing the pendulum of left-wing lunacy that way, back towards center, because these guys are nuts. Biden said to get vaccinated. I seen that. Yeah, I seen that. He did that on the last natural disaster. He's like, the best thing you can do right now is to get vaccinated for the hurricane in Florida. It's like, if there's a hurricane coming through my town, I'm getting the cars out. I'm getting the family out. I'm getting the hell out of there. Family before cars. I know I said cars before. I'm getting out of there. I'm taking high ground. I was gonna stop my local vaccination clinic. Yeah, okay. Get your 9th booster, man. Stop. I'm getting demonetized on this stream for sure, but whatever. Who cares? These are too much fun. I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. But that was really funny when they told people to get the jab. To be safe for the hurricane. Oh my god. Well, they're all going to be in shelters together. You guys are just monsters. You guys are animals. Good to see you catching up with Clyde. Can't wait for that. Greatest YouTube commentator. Yeah, I'm really pumped. I actually reached out to Clyde through my buddy Sam Field, which a lot of you know. Sam Field from Nova Scotia. He hooked me up. He said, yeah, just hit him up, and I got a hold of him, and we're going to be doing a live stream on Wednesday, so I'm excited to chat with him. Which is strange because, like, I've listened to Clyde, like, every day, usually. I listen to him. He brushes me up on a lot of Canadian things, and I listen to a few Canadian sources, and he's really one of them, and I hear him almost every day. So I've never actually talked to him other than, like, in a comment section, or he's been in my live streams before. So it's going to be really strange hearing his voice and, like, facing him and talking to him. It's going to be really cool, because I think he's a really dope dude. I think what he's doing is freaking just mint. The guy's just out there doing his deeds. He must work around the clock. I'm gonna ask him about that. The guy's got a real day job, then he's doing all this stuff. Like, how do you do it? Really, he's working hard at doing full time. He's full time. It's pretty cool. Yeah, no politics at the dinner table. Hurricane vax. Go talk to Jackie for your hurricane vax. I'm 54 and they're grooming us back then to blindly follow. Yeah, they're grooming us. I mean, look at every generation of kids that cycles through the school system, how much more progressive and aggressive it gets. Like, they're crazy. They're so crazy, man. They're grooming people. It's insane. I'm so glad I dropped out. I got my grade 12 though. I just left, and then I went and got it at secondary, and I never needed it. Turns out I started my own business without having a proper education. It's just a system to breed you. Go to school, do really good, then when you graduate grade 12, they'll give you special acknowledgments. and then they'll give you grants to other schools that they're in the pocket of. Then you go there. Okay, you don't even get to have any fun. You just become an adult from a youth. We breed it into you. Get up at 9 or 8 a.m., go to school at 9, you're done at 3:30, go home, study, come back and do it again tomorrow. We'll give you 2 months off a year in the summer, but you better be prepared, because when you graduate, if you do good, the government will give you grants, and then you get to go to the bigger school, and then you don't ever get to get in touch with your inner child again. You just get to keep going to school. Just keep going to school, man. Just keep going, dude. Do the secondary. Do it. It'll be really good. Then you can take on a bunch of student debt. Then you can be an owed to the government for even longer. And then as soon as you graduate, you still have to pay all that debt off for like the next 10, 15 years. And then, right when you get to school, they'll make sure you buy that brand new BMW, get married, pay for all this marriage stuff, big expensive wedding, put it on the credit card. Make sure the wife gets a brand new BMW and a Mercedes, maybe a Tesla, because she wants to save the environment. Go into debt for all those cars, okay? Just go into debt for these brand new nice cars with like 5 years, 10 years warranty. Buy a house, lock in for 25 years, and just keep on paying off all your debt. Keep accumulating it. When you're 65, oh, did we say 65? Sorry, 67. Once you're 67, you can retire. Oh, once you're 70 years old, you can retire and enjoy all that. You might be dead by then or close to dying, but you can enjoy the last few years of your life after you worked all these years to accumulate all this stuff and then have it mean absolutely nothing. Wow, the school system's a real treat. Yeah, they made fun of me when I left it. Fools. Then they told me to get a jab. 9 jabs. Okay. All right, let's go back and read some comments. I went off on a rant there. Shame to the world. Ron's a shame to the world. Should have engaged more. I miss Calgary. Calgary's cool. I don't like in the city, though. I like her out in the country here. I think Trudeau ousted. Yeah, so Trudeau, I think, is getting ousted. I think it's very obvious. You can already see the liberal news media, the funded liberal news media, starting to push towards these titles like, oh, Trudeau is unpopular. It's like, why are you telling? We already knew this. We've known this for years. And now they're going with that narrative. So I think they realize how powerful Pierre is, or the Conservatives are now, they're united, which a lot of them don't want to say they are, but they are. They're doing really good right now. They're kind of all, they're riling up, ready to go. And it seems like there's huge support there. It's very obvious, actually. It's painfully obvious. And I think they know that he's not going to beat him, so they're going to try to put him in. I think the same is going to happen to Biden in the States. They're going to switch and try to bring out this new glorious leader at the helm of the Democratic Party or the Liberal Party in Canada. And that guy's going to win and going to run up against him. It'll be their excuse for rigging it and making it not look so obvious, right? Just don't see it. Don't see it going our way that easy. Tanner was on the streets of Ottawa during the convoy, and Cloud was killing it for freedom. Friggin' right. And Sam is a legend. I agree. DeSantis is dope. Yep. Manitoulin Island, Ontario. Sweet place. Hey, Colin.
Hey.
You got a sub?
Yeah, half of it's yours.
Really? I was going to ask you to run back down and get me one. James Top in Toronto tonight said Pierre wanted to meet with him private only. That's kind of cool. I would like to see what that's all about. That's his last event in Toronto that I guess he's done his tour. What's up with that? What does anyone know about James Top's tour? I haven't been paying attention much lately. I have no sound on your video, Miss Billy. Does anyone else have sound? Need to know about the sound. Need to know about the quality of the video. Let's do a little quick checkup here before we start chatting with Colin over here. And we get ranting off. Might look away from the comment section for a bit. Been watching you since Renewable Energy, Ceramic Coatings has been watching you since day one. Freedom Convoy, hilarious, man. It's an Alberta thing. Great Canadian channel. Thanks, Renewable Energy. Keeping it light for my mental health. Loving the Firebird, Banana, Cat. Pierre is all about power. We'll see. Okay, we're all caught up. Both good. Greatest YouTuber commentator has sound, audio. Dark Bolt's got good and good. And both good in North Country. So I think we are good to get into this chat with me and Colin Glukner. Colin Glukner.
Colin Glukler.
Glukner. You should see how his name is spelled.
Call me Galaxy.
Gluiertcy, Kentucky.
German. My goodness. All of us coming from different places. Originally from Ontario, but I should get on the... I'm going to share this to a few folks. I haven't shared it to anybody.
What is it?
The live feed. I'll get it going. I just woke up from a nap, and it's kind of like I just woke up. Just had a cacao and tea off the coffee for a week.
Slam coffees.
Yeah. And nothing against anything, okay? You help your sweet selves to anything that you want. We are gonna be having a bit of Subway and some beer. And
Man, Tim Hortons coffee's actually cracked though. Like, I know this. Like, if you do Tim Hortons coffee, it's like having Adderall. It's very methy. So Tim Hortons coffee, if you have like an extra large, I take it black, like I take my men. I shouldn't have said that. That's crazy. But yeah, I got black coffee there from Tim Hortons, and it's almost like I'm on Adderall or something.
I find 7-Eleven and Tim Hortons, their coffee just seems like it could be flavored by real beans, and they may have some real beans in there, but I feel like they add caffeine. I don't know, but I definitely feel that from 7-Eleven coffee. But I don't know, why are you so obsessed with coffee all day? What are you doing? What do you gotta...
We have a healthy...
You need something to wake up?
We have an unhealthy dependency on coffee, and like people get really angry. They'll post like memes about how they're like, hey, if I haven't had my coffee in the morning, I'm a real bitch. It's like, that's not...
to me.
Don't talk to me. That's not natural. It might be good for you, like makes you feel better, but it's not. Yeah. And I like coffee, but I just kind of do it a couple times a week. You know.
What have you been talking to these folks about?
Politics.
You're good at that.
I don't know if I'm good at it, but I have opinions.
How is it that you get your political information?
All sorts of independent YouTubers. And yeah, just independent sources that aren't subsidized by the Liberal government. And then I also watch Liberal subsidized media just to see what they're saying, and then I'll just make my own opinion. And based on what's been going on and the amount of times they've lied, they no longer have credit. And the things that the people in the independent world are saying just make sense. Like, leave the kids alone. Don't put on fake prosthetic breasts that are this big and try to teach kids, and then... Which I think that guy, if you guys been paying attention from that Ontario school that did that, the teacher with the big breasts, the trans thing, I think that guy is a troll. I think that guy's trolling. Mark my words. I swear that guy's trolling. Trust me. If he isn't, I mean, that's clown world. Like we're clown world, but that's clown. That's like 10 clown emojis world, you know. But I think that guy is just like because his a year before he was gonna get fired over something to do with that. But I honestly think that that guy's trolling to prove a point, and he's just holding on to it. I really, if it is, I'm gonna just smash my face through drywall because that's legendary. That is so good. Oh goodness,
You got a helmet on you, don't you?
a helmet.
Yeah, you thick skull.
Mm.
Sorry, folks. I'm just gonna share this to the pages. So I just got up 10 minutes before we need to be on time with you guys. Having a nap. Lay down if you need to, please. Just leave here and go have a nap, or leave us on. We can soothe you to sleep with our political conversations. But yeah, we could be set up maybe in the sunset with hanging hammock chairs. We could have planted trees and let them grow and put a hammock in between both ones and
We
have
actually
ourselves
got
set
our own
up
now. In time, in time.
on our own property. We could have done that for you. We're sorry. Look at this title. Psychedelics, New World Order.
Yeah, well, we're gonna talk about psychedelics New World Order. Yeah, I'm like, how do we title this? How to shotgun a beer? Probably we can do that in this live stream, then do an official video later, or just clip it out of this live stream and then post it later because we want to show you guys how to shotgun a beer. Because there's one thing I've learned in my travels is that people don't know how to shotgun beers, and me and Colin really do. Like clean shotguns. People say they know how to shotgun, and they kind of do, but then they make a mess and they waste beer. They just like get soaked in beer, and then people just know they're drunk, like really drunk, because they reek like beer. We know how to do it right.
Okay, get on YouTube. Get on Facebook. Is this on Facebook? No. This
No,
is
by
on
next what
YouTube.
is when I schedule them through Restream, I can schedule them so they're on YouTube and they're on Facebook as well. So on my live stream on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, with Clyde, that live stream is also live streaming on here and on Facebook at the same time, side by side. So wherever you want to watch it, I think that'll be a really good one. I'm gonna really pump. This could be a good one. This is a great one.
We're already here.
We're already here. We're already doing
Present
things.
with it. In Tanner's garage. Okay, Tanner, when did I was trying to watch you like fix vehicles, and you've been just tinkering away, and you taught yourself. When did you get genuinely curious and like, were these cheap when you picked them up, like used? And
Kind
then,
of.
And you've already fixed some of these before?
Yeah, I was when I was 13 or 14. I seen the Dukes of Hazzard with Johnny Knoxville and Sean William Scott,
Yeah.
the remake, and I just was like, what is this all about? I wasn't really into cars. And I seen a 69 Charger. I was like, dude, running from cops. I was running from cops then, but I wasn't into cars.
At 13?
Yeah, 13, we're screwing with cops, going moving garbage cans in the street and running from them, calling them pigs and stuff. And then, yeah, I just kind of really got inspired by, AC/DC as well. Was it like all the tracks in that movie were AC/DC and shit and like Molly Hatchet. So I was like, this is crazy. So I got into cars. And then I started learning how to fix them. My dad started teaching me some of the stuff he knew from back in the hot rodding days. And then, yeah, I just kind of led into buying these cars. Like that one I got for $800 with that yellow paint on it. Got rid of the interior it was in. It had a brown interior with mice and crap and all that. So I replaced the whole interior, did the wheels and tires on it, got the engine running, new fuel pump, new exhaust, headers, pinstriping, a good wax, brought her back to life. I bought that car for like probably $4,000. And then that car I bought for another one, the other yellow one, I bought that one for like 15, which is super cheap for a collector's edition. I turned it into an absolute race car, learned how to build race cars through that car, through pure passion.
When does a car become a race car?
When you like completely take all the stock components off it and put all race components in it. Like suspension wise, the suspension's way tighter. The car has no body roll, no flex. Everything's meant to keep the car stable and tight to the road with no body roll. QA1 double adjustable coilovers to keep the ride nice and tight, like when it's a bouncing thing. It's from the corners and shit. It's like all that shit. 6-speed built, dual disc clutch to shift faster. All about the shifter feel, pedal travel on the clutch. Then the engine, stroker engine, aggressive radical engine that makes lots of power down low, mid-range, up high. Mostly mid-range and up high. But yeah, it turns into a race car. Splitter on it now. Big wing, arrow, downforce. Steering wheel, racing steering wheel, the yellow sentry stripe.
Or splitter?
Splitter on the front, spoiler on the rear.
Ooh, splitter.
Ooh.
Splitter's on the front. What's it doing? And that's on the race car on the far side, the shinier one.
The shinier one, yeah.
Yeah.
That one's a splitter on the chin.
What's it do?
Helps divert air straight under the car
Okay.
instead of letting it pile up on the front end. Cuts the air better.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And we went for the first drive on that new engine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Calling it for the first ride, and we
You
cataloged.
ever get into an accident? Like, so if you ever fuck up going like 1.5 hundreds or 2.5 hundreds,
You don't when you build your shit tight.
sweet. And then it's
You
just
hope not
worth
to.
It's just worth that risk. You just see how far you can go with your own vehicle. I was always trying to figure out like how far can you go with your vehicle. But the tipping point is when it starts to skid. And then that could result in an accident.
And that's why that car is built to grip. It's built to grip the road really tight. With a car like that goes into a corner like that one's gonna slide out way faster than that one will. You lose control of it because that one's just all stock suspension. So big grippy tires on it, but you know. Also another thing is the big grippy tires on that car and the big brake kit help it brake harder. And
this car bouncing, that's a result of the race suspension.
that's a result of everything being really tight and like super solid components in the car. And then the only place that the energy has to transfer to is within the coilovers. And right now the coilovers compression set too tight and the rebound set too loose. So now all that energy when you're going into a corner is actually getting unloaded as it kind of binds through the suspension. So that needs adjustment to make that less bouncy. But when you ride in race cars, generally they kind of like have like a bouncy, firm feel to them.
It almost feels like, to me, feels like the vehicle was moving, but I never heard the tires screech.
Yeah, no, it's super glued to the road.
Super
It's just
glued.
unloading a little bit, which it shouldn't be doing. You don't want it to unload because that equates to less grip. Technically, if you were to get in a situation where you needed grip.
Before I forget, I put a glass bottle in the freezer.
Can we smash it on my head?
Could you handle that?
No. I used to do it. All right, comments. Don't forget that men can get pregnant. Yes, 100%. Peg may have you beat, bro. Peg's got me beat. Peg's a legend. Most kids probably be in pants, litter box for Furbies. I remember real Dukes of Hazzard when I was a kid. Yeah, the OG Dukes of Hazzard's fun, but like, I just feel like Sean William Scott and Johnny Knoxville was not true very much to the original, but it didn't. If it did, I don't think it would have been as fun and crazy. It's a crazy movie. I seen Whistle and Diesels generally. That was wild. That was such a cool video. Noah Fellow Badass 79 Ferd. Yeah, that's Peg's truck. That thing's cool. Hatch off to Peg. Is the splitter on the WS6 chassis mounted? Nope. Bumper mounted. I don't know how do they chassis mount them. I guess they mount them through the front bumper somehow, where the bumper support goes. But yeah, those ones are stronger. What's this?
That's a nice beer from our Calgary brewery, Big Rock. And folks, so you know, if you need a break from something good, take a break and then you'll see how good it is after. I am a vastly beer drinker, and maybe that's one of the reasons why me and Tanner have similar minds. Slightly dulled, or we're thinking too much. You talk faster. I don't talk.
What the hell do you mean I talk right? I don't write that fast.
I don't talk very fast, but my mind goes. Think about a lot of shit. Keep it inside because I'm scared. Daddy gonna come get me. Daddy gonna get me. No, he never did that. He's a great guy. Vote for him in Golden, British Columbia, if you're out there. He is gonna be the prime minister.
Your dad?
Of Golden.
The mayor?
No, the what do you call them when they're fucking counselor? Counselor.
Oh, town council.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever they call them. Counselor.
That guy set you straight. Set me straight. How we going? I think the whiskey might catch up.
Maiden 86 says, Colin, tell us about your Burning Man this year.
Holy heck. Okay, Burning Man is the... Let me just chill. This is beautiful. I'm excited. Feel it. 69 people watching. That's why I'm so stoked. Burning Man is the largest group of people largest gathering of people, 80,000 people, super creative, dense creativity. So even just the neighbors are going to be messing with you. It's an improv. People said at Burning Man this year, it was more dusty. This is, okay, what do we got for reference? We got this little part of the flag here. That might be the group of people at Burning Man. And this whole circle here is the desert around. And this is like 5 miles wide. And this little BC emblem here. And, you know, asses, whatever you want to do. Just get your goggles on when there's a dust storm. People did say before it was more hot, more dusty than usual. I didn't know. I didn't have anything to compare it to. It's Mars, and just being alive there is something to be grateful for. And I ran into people from all the way in Canada that were serving tap beer out in this desert at Viking Bar. We're just alive every day. The only thing they sell is ice. Everything is free. You bring everything you have or everything you need and more, and everyone exchanges. And it feels like everybody who wants anything, or if I wanted anything, I ask, or if someone needs something, you go get it, you give it to them, because it's gonna work that way when you want something. Substances, or food, straight up, beer. Beer was the most like, holy crap, you have a cooler of beer out here? We're like 2 miles away from my camp on an art car that looks like a dragon, and some professional DJ, someone I would be looking up to, is DJing a set. What's happening, Burning Man? I mean, I was running around trying to play sets the entire time, and there's 600 sound stages and 400 bars. My apologies, the other way around. 400 sound stages, 600 bars, events the whole weekend, all the way from like straight up orgies to only about two.
That
Which
you know of.
everyone's like, ooh, Burning Man's all about orgies. Yeah, that I know of.
That you know of. Sand. Oh, imagine this.
I never had
Sandy,
an orgy.
dirty.
I wasn't really. I'm pretty intimidated by showing up to a tent full of people who are ready to get their hoses out
Get ready to get physical.
and
Oh.
their storm drains, because there's gonna be a lot of liquids flying around.
Oh my god. Dirty!
And happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
Burning Man. People say your life's changed after Burning Man, but I can't really freaking. Well, I don't know. I can't feel the same as I did before. Trying to sleep, trying to feel it, but life just goes on. You're just gonna keep learning. What did I learn? How to survive in the heat. Just keep your fucking skin off the sun. Wear a mask.
Hi from
Dust.
Vancouver.
Wear a mask.
Oh, mask. Double
Is
mask.
your mask on before you go to Burning Man? Yes, it is. That's a good idea. If it's dusty as fuck and you can't breathe. I mean, you can breathe that shit if you want. But anybody else going to Burning Man?
Hey, let's get into the real question here. I'm
10
sure everyone's
hands down.
asking.
Who's thinking about it?
Everybody's asking this question, but nobody's asking it, but everyone's thinking it. For sure. How are the drugs?
So when I was there, I actually had a hard time trying to find some substances, like the particular favorites that I wanted, like mushrooms and ketamine. And well, I was super fortunate, not going to name names on who I came with, but they ended up giving me a gram of substances, which is worth about 100 Canadian dollars, maybe 80, maybe 60. And you're making it in a lab. It's this much stuff. Makes you feel good. I traded for dexamphetamines, coke. Sorry, people, if this is sensitive to you and you haven't tried substances like as liberally. I'm a DJ. That's no excuse. DJs don't need to do all the substances, but maybe with music, and because it's around and easier to get, I've just been around the block and just wanting to explore things, and how can you not try something if it exists, like radiation poisoning?
What the fuck are you saying?
Walking into a highway. You gotta try. No. So yeah, for sensitive ears, but dexamphetamines, coke, marijuana, mushrooms, all in my bag. I had one Ziploc bag, and it just. This is what I traded people for. 12 out of 15 pack of beer. I think there was one other thing, but pretty rowdy. And a lot of those things I didn't want, but I was just using those to trade if anyone wanted that kind of thing.
The shrooms are probably the vibe.
LSD is a big vibe because it lasts so much longer, and it can you can just hum away.
The most, fun.
yeah, it can not emotionally kind of spin you around. I personally love mushrooms and would just do whatever they say. Oh, sweet Jesus. Just like an ant that gets like a fungus in their brain. Oh, sweet Jesus, you need me to go this way. I will do all these things. No, sometimes it helps
Does we
me.
come for the bukkake party? Does it come down for the bukkake orgy tent?
Sometimes it makes me need to sleep. Sometimes it makes me hyper. Sometimes it makes me sad. And you just have to go with it because that's the state you're going to be going down. Whereas LSD, that's just pushing certain visuals to your eyeballs or
5
certain
tabs, please.
body feeling. Is this, yeah, what was the title of this?
This was Psychedelics and New World Order. We've already talked about a lot of the New World Order stuff while you were gone.
Nice.
We didn't get into Klaus Schwab, which, I mean, there's just enough content there for like 10 live streams.
We're definitely not staying on topic either.
But I went like New World Order-ish, and now we're on to the Psychedelics and like talking about how you drop 10 tabs of acid and you turn into a fairy down at...
Okay, I
Burning
did
Man?
at Shambhala. So I just came from...
We went to Shambhala together. That was dope.
check out the relapse video. The relapse?
Relapse. The Shambhala
Replay.
my video, it's the main one on my feed here when you come to my channel. It's like my channel trailer. It's
Aw.
Shambhala, my experience. Put a lot into that one. That one was really fun. Show you the stages from the air on the ground. Got in trouble by Shambhala's official drone pilot because I didn't know the laws there apparently. But I think he's just butthurt because my shot slapped so hard. He's one of those guys. He's licensed.
He didn't know.
Triple jabbed.
Okay, so one remarkable cute thing. We went to the States and back, and Tanner just wants to make the best videos for us. He tries so hard. He works so diligently on filling the gaps, making sure every edit is so good for us. And I mean, the way you covered going to Ottawa, that was the sickest way for me to get news. And since the last podcast that we had, I appreciate that, and you. And he just says he wants to put out genuine content that doesn't offend very many people. I caught him. I'm like, yo, you're gonna offend somebody.
No, don't offend people. I don't want to like. I want to just inspire people to live and be happy and shit. But I don't want to offend people. It's like I don't want to go outside of YouTube's terms and service because it's not how I grow. And it sounds so cheesy of me to say, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to, like, I touch on controversial stuff all the time, so it's not wanting to offend people. It's like, how do I say it? What were we saying that day, yesterday?
A lot. We said we were scared because of how systematic, like, the way money circles around to make people richer. I don't think we hit that, but a topic of how people may make themselves richer in politics, a way that people
would be governed to a
genuinely
certain category.
look at each other and care about each other as much as I said. Ooh, this was 2 days ago. We went to the States. I
That's
said
right.
yesterday. I feel like it's really important to look people in the eye, or like be aware of everybody around you, and not like just try to make a point of being like, yo, there is someone beside me who needs to check in. Like, yo, this person need to go into the fridge at this grocery store. I know it's a fucking small topic, but like people who would resist or not like be aware of that and just do everything for themselves, all for one for all, can get into a deep routine of maybe not caring about people as much, where they affect you, and we could all be vibing. Yeah. So I like to, everybody I can, even the guy at the beer store I just said hey to, which by the way, he's like, hey, you're not from here, are you? You don't have a card here? I gotta charge you more.
Oh,
for
yeah,
this."
you didn't give me the card?
No.
Yeah, dude, he gave me a card, and I've been here for 2 years, and he never gave me a card till like a couple weeks ago, and now I got 1 point towards a free case of beer or something, which takes like 20 points, and I bought more than enough beer to get a free case of beer. God damn it.
Well, he's not gonna just give you free cases of beer now, is he?
Nope, but he was definitely late to the draw on that
And he
one.
was a little nicer.
That guy is a communist. Okay, so
So yeah, after I paid, he's already like, yo, you pay more for that. I'm like, oh, you're a fucking funny guy, aren't you?
you're a freaking funny bud.
A little bit Asian Canadian. I love people and Burning Man, and I'm just gonna do a quick prayer. Listen to me now. Hoya! No, actually, I do because I was drinking by myself is dangerous and it could be addicting. And what are you doing? So I tried to like make myself more present with what I'm doing. So I started every first beer of the day. I do a prayer of all the directions: north, east, southwest. Thanking each direction, and I imagine what is up that way, and I thank the people and the land and everything that it gives, and looping right back and whatever. I see it like it's a fast drone shot. And then I thank the sky for bringing rain, and the earth for holding and growing the hops and malt that are in the beer, and I thank all the souls that have given me every fucking idea. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll just do that right here. It doesn't have to be a big deal, but it's just a small thing. Which way is north?
You're gonna go.
That way.
Are you gonna go pray to the ground?
Right? I should get on the ground.
Goodness.
Because it only lasts a second. I do it while I'm driving sometimes. Thank you. Thank you.
What the fuck? Oh, what an animal. Getting chilly out there, eh?
Are you cold, honey?
Watched a couple of vids. Want to know, are they Canadian American? We're Canadian. Canadian, fuck. Whoa, dude, freaking awesome perspective. Okay, Tanner's awkward. I'm just listening.
Okay, Tanner is doing wonderful, by the way. He lost a bunch of weight. Since I met him last year, we met at 2 years ago in COVID. There was a secret rave. We went to it. I played at it. We vibed. Why did we
Secret
vibe?
rave?
You have genuine curiosity in trying to grow and changing your own perspective. And you were bigger back then. And then now you've been getting fucking jacked. You should see this guy's forearms. Look at his forearms. Oh, it doesn't look like nothing there, but they're juicy.
They're
Good
thick.
piece of meat. You're gonna want this
I was like
in the salad, the whole pasta.
250 pounds, I think, and now I'm like 200. Because I was just well, there's a lot of reasons
That's
why I did it.
95 pounds he lost in one day.
It's 150. Now, here's the thing. I lost for a lot of reasons. Number one reason was longevity and health, obviously.
Sorry, I'm laughing. Some guy said Tanner is hot like my ex-boyfriend.
Oh, they see people are catching on to it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Everyone's catching on to the ex-boyfriend thing. He's clever as fuck now.
I named him. His name is I think Federico. Or,
What did we say yesterday? We're coming back,
Eduardo.
and you said something, and then I was like, I paused for a second, and you're like my ex-boyfriend. I'm like, oh fuck, that was good.
I forget. Oh, what is something that you used to do back in the day that was super impressive?
No,
That
it was something you would never do again, or something. It was.
eat.
What's something you would never? What's something you would never?
Thing you've ever eaten?
What was the nastiest thing you've ever eaten? And then I just paused, and he's like, "Your ex-boyfriend."
I just started laughing. I'm fucking driving. I just started laughing to myself. I'm like, oh fuck,
My ex-boyfriend.
your ex-boyfriend, isn't it?
Well, because I get a lot of people that are asking me, like, they'll send me messages like, "Are you gay?" And then like another buddy sent me a message, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, this buddy's asking me if you're gay." He's like, "Hey, is that Tyros Tanner O'Crane guy? Is he actually gay?" And he's like, "I don't think he is." Wonder, and I get it because I joke around a lot, but
All
now.
the time.
But now it's starting to reward because people are, that was really hard. And I'm like my ex-boyfriend. Look, are you gay? It's like, no. And then now they realize, and then now people are saying it more. So now it's like, holy shit. That
You're starting a revolution.
Yeah, that thunderclap was really loud. Like my ex-boyfriend's ass cheeks after. It's kind of like that. But.
Oh, I like to say, just like my ex-wife.
Yo.
Say it with a raspy voice.
Hotter than my ex-boyfriend. Tanner's hot like my ex-boyfriend.
Anyway, Tanner has lost a lot of weight. So then I come by here because I've been thinking about us doing jiu-jitsu. I've been thinking about like trying to help him fix a car. I like to podcast. I usually like to sit down. I don't know if I can think about it more, or like just podcasting right now. What's the difference?
This is literally a podcast, except I'm not like this. You go like this way. We have to put our
Microphone?
Hold on, no, turn on.
Little air.
Grab your microphone.
Little air vent?
Grab your microphone. Here's my microphone.
Hey.
So how's life been treating you lately?
Actually, this is nice.
Have you ever kissed a dude?
I have.
Have you ever podcasted to a guy this closely?
No.
You want to kiss me?
Not yet.
That's how you podcast. That's your beer. That's mine. Now, here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing. We have a thing to do tonight. And
In the prescription below.
actually, you were going on about something first. You're
okay, so I
making me feel good about myself.
Well, I showed up, and then just like when I met you at Shambhala, and it had been a while, you actually have more energy. And then so this started from someone commenting, being like, Tanner is awkward. And then I thought to myself, Tanner can be a lot to manage now that I'm with you for a bit. I'm used to it. But then I was telling Otter today too, you will push something so far that it actually will physically affect you, like grabbing my hand and putting it in your teeth while I'm driving, or like
trying to bite your hand.
or making something so visually crazy or vocally that it will take you out of. I'm trying to just be hard and just being like, I'm just writing music, or like I'm just doing my thing, and then Tanner will do something so big that it will physically take you out of your zen.
That's called ADHD. That's literally what it is.
ADHD is called for me, I think that's, well, there's so many different kinds probably, but I think people are thinking faster and smarter than us.
Yeah, but you're like in Zen, and then you like hear across the room, "Book!" or something like that, right? It's pretty aggressive.
It's so aggressive that it can take me out of it, and that's one thing I noticed. But moving around a lot, moving real fast, talking real fast, faster than before, I was like, holy fuck, is Tanner always this way? And I'm like, he was a tiny bit, but I think, oh, then again, we were
I always had crazy energy, crazy energy, and then I gained all that weight, and then I still had energy for like a fat person compared to any other freaking fat person. Like I'd still be going and running around, sledding, doing whatever. My other friends were like, "Man, let's sit around and drink beer," and they're skinny, and I wasn't. So now that I'm not big anymore, and I'm just getting under 200 pounds now, my energy's insane. Like I actually like trying to. It's my ADD has gotten worse because I'm flying around. I feel like I can do so much more.
Better. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but like my drive is better. My belief in myself, my confidence, a lot of things about me are better. But that thing there is like, I'm like off the walls now. Like this morning when I got to the gym, I was freaking out. I was coming home and driving the Trans Am. I'm like, bah, bah, bah. I'm like, let's fucking go. I'm like, yeah, I'm going. There's people and shit. They're like, yeah, dude. I'm like, yeah. I slammed a coffee, which doesn't help. Oh, extra large Timmy's fucking coffee. Which is why when people in Ottawa were like, man, this guy's on coke. I'm like, buddy, you've never done rail in your life because I was on Tim Hortons coffee. If guy's on cocaine, 9.99 times out of 10, that guy's just chilling. And he's talking about aliens like, yeah, bro, I love you. But if you're on coke and you're running around being like I do, you're a crackhead. And I'm not doing crack. I'm doing, well, Tim Hortons coffee is kind of crack, but I shotgun Tim Hortons coffees. I do. I seriously will I'll take a whole, I'm like, all right, we're going to the streets of Ottawa, hammer one back, and I'm just like, you know what I mean?
Just to do good for our fellow listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, sorta. Exactly. Like, I'm gonna get my vibe, and you're gonna see me vibe with other people is what I do. So I do the coffee, and the next thing I'm on the streets of Ottawa. I'm like, hey man, how are you? What the fuck's up? And I'm just like running around, ADHD as fuck, moving from person to person, and that just worked for me. People are like, this guy's a drug user. I'm like, not like you think, cunt.
I wish I wasn't. Oh my god, is that a derogatory label? I feel like I need to stop doing drugs. They're prescribed by a doctor.
Didn't you know psilocybin will make you jump out of a window? Or is that LSD?
A little bit of both.
You're gonna jump out of a window. You're gonna do crazy stuff. You can't do them. The government says they're illegal. Don't do them. Don't unless they legalize it.
Stop.
To put more money back into the government. Then Trudeau's now the drug dealer. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. Make the youth vote.
Why did you lose? What gave you the motivation to lose the weight?
To fucking number one, to be healthy and live a long time. Which is also the same reason as like
that's allegedly.
Yes, but hiking, like working on cars, driving the cars, feeling in the seatbelts, like how I felt restricted, like fat, and like getting under the cars, just moving around general sucked, and I realized how bad it got in those like 5 years I gained that weight. And I realized my quality of life was down, so that motivated me. But it also motivated me the fact that the government was telling people that they couldn't work out and they had to just listen to them and lock themselves inside. And I'm like, that is insane. I'm like, that is so crazy. And another thing was like, when really big, large people were telling me to look out for their health, and they were just demanding all this crazy shit from us, people who take care of our health, they're demanding from us
that we completely changed our lifestyles and this, and they're still sitting there pounding Cheetos and cheeseburgers and shit. Like, they care about my health. You get 3 jabs, bro. It's like, listen, man. I'm gonna get so fit. I'm gonna look at you and I'm gonna chuckle. I already was chuckling.
I'm gonna lift.
But that
you
was
up.
another reason. It was kind of egotistically driven in a sense. But
I'm gonna lift you up and put you down safely. I wouldn't hurt you.
Oh, and another huge driving factor. This one's hilarious. This is how my mind works. It was the ability to dance at raves. Honestly, that was a huge. Every time I was in the gym, my last stint from 225 or 220 pounds down to 199 pounds was strictly driven off of Shambhala. I'm like, dude, all these duffs I've gone to, all these bush parties, I'm like, Shambhala is the granddaddy and I have to be prepared. So I treat it like almost like an MMA fight, like a weigh-in. I'm going every day, like an hour of cardio a day for like months straight. I kept doing that. And then I'd weigh-in day, the day before we hopped in the motorhome, went down Shambhala. I weighed myself after a gigantic meal, which was 2 cheeseburgers and some fries. I gave in. I weighed myself in and I was 200 on the dot after a huge meal. So I was like, oh man, I'm like 198, 199 for sure. And I'm like, so I didn't hit the 199 mark, but I definitely for sure did. Because when I came home, I was 196. And I was like, holy shit, I did it. You know, I was super happy about it. I had a weigh-in day. And then I went to Shambhala and I realized that Shambhala, I'm like, dude, every other duff I've went to before, like I would go to Jordan all the time. You know, Jordan and Corey from Australia?
You bet.
And I go to Jordan. Jordan's like, oh, I can't. He's like, why don't you hit the fucking floor with me, can't? I'm like, dude, because I can't. You know, I go to bed at like 1 or 2, right? I was out of it. I couldn't dance like him. But now I go to Sean's. I'm like 4 hours into a set just rolling on the old shrooms or something. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, this is so good. I'm sweating and I feel good about it. And I'm dancing and it was really nice. And it worked out. So that was a really big driving factor for the most recent inspiration. I feel like I go in stages. I'll have like inspirations. Like first was longevity and health and life, and then the next one was like these big people tell me I need to restrict my abilities or this and that so they can be safe. That was kind of annoying. And then the other one was Shambhala. And now the next one here going forward.
You want to just gain muscle mass? Like
No,
what do you
I
need?
want 5 wives, and I know fat guy ain't getting 5 wives. I'm kidding. Partially.
Think about that. Like
Who the hell smokes cocaine?
you
Me. No.
are you into
Oh God.
you into getting pregnant? I'll put a baby in her.
Just fire one in.
Get the fire hose working.
Yeah.
Turn it on. You need wrenches for that fire hose. Lubrication. Oh, it's a bit stuck, isn't it? Hit it with a hammer.
What fire hose?
Just talking about a fucking. I don't even fire. Fuck, I forgot. They put them beside where you park your car to put out fires. That's what I'm
Fire
gonna
hydrant?
do for females.
You're gonna spray. Every time you see a guy wearing his hat, I was calling this yesterday. I'm like, Kate, we always judge people. People say we don't judge people, but then we can call and talk about how you're always judging people. That's how you evaluate people and have good people in your life and get the bad ones out or help people grow. You're always constantly judging them. But in all reality, people say they don't judge people. I guarantee you, those people, when they see a guy wearing a hat like this, you're judging them. Because 9 times out of 10, a guy who wears a hat like this, what's he trying to do? He's trying to sell you bad drugs, or he's trying to fight you.
He suddenly has an issue with you, and you're just in a
What's up,
lineup.
bro? It's like, how do you even think that's acceptable? What's up? Makes the guy's head look way taller and greasier.
I like doing this at a dance floor to just change it up. People look back at me and they're like, "Hey, what's going on, man?" I said, "Oh, it's that guy who's been nice all night."
If I saw a mechanic with a sideways hat, I'm out of here. No. You
like
always
this.
let those guys work on your car because you can trade them very cheap methamphetamines for. You want to do an exhaust job, buddy? $50.
So I just said, like, people who look like this, they're probably gonna be
that's
trying to start a fight with
No,
you
that
suddenly.
guy's chill. That guy's chill. That hat style's chill. That's like skateboarder dude, smoke some weed with
my
him.
hat
It's this
doesn't
one.
do what you're doing.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying it's fucked because it's certain kinds of guys with certain heads. Like maybe me in an alternate universe, I'm addicted to really bad methamphetamines or something. I'm trying to fight you. So I'm like, you know, so that's the kind of guy. I have the head that fits it, right? And like you make it look very tall because the guy wants to stand tall. He wants to be super tall, right? Because the hat makes him look bigger.
Hey, so I would just be like, "Yo, all right, a human. I'm aware of you. I want you to know that you're a human and everything's good." And then the guy's like, "Yo, like, what? You got a problem?" And I'm just like, "Whoa, I'm just trying to give you eye contact because I want you to feel like you're good, man." I'm not good, buddy.
That's where I get in trouble with men a lot. Is staring into their eyes. You flirting with me, gay
You got a
boy?
problem?
Hey,
Yes.
what are you doing, huh?
Hey,
Something up?
it's Mike.
What are you doing? I do a thing, well, anybody who's Mike. I don't know where you've heard this before, but maybe Uncle Mikey comes out to play once in a while. You check out the channel, you'll hear me do a little more of this accent. It's stupid. But you know what I sound like.
It's
Who
Mike.
even cares about Uncle Mikey anymore? He's not here for you anymore.
They probably think you're talking about Mike on the channel here.
Oh, Uncle Mike.
It's Mike.
Uncle Mike on the channel. What are you thinking? You got an opinion about how we're wearing our hats? You want them more forward, more backwards? Getting cold.
I'm thinking about it, but I'm not bad right now. But we are going to
I'm
show
not.
people how to properly shotgun a beer, because a lot of people. I was chilling with these older fellas the other day, and the one guy really appreciated that. She's like, "How did you do that?" Now I showed him another one. He's like, "Is that ever clever?" He says. So that's a good way to get fucked up quick.
Let me get you. Maybe you'll find that one easier.
Yeah, that's less. Alexander's Keat. Well, they're both pale ales, India pale. Like maybe something.
This
like,
one, these are barely Indian pale ales.
Yeah,
Alexander Keats
from
from the East Coast.
Okay, so first
a
we're
little
gonna,
bit cold.
we're gonna shotgun my way, and then Colin's gonna show you his way. They're very similar, except one involves fingers and the other one doesn't. So if you don't have the ability to punch a can with your thumb, which I don't, I've tried many times. He's got Slenderman fingers, like he's some freaking guy you'd see in the middle of the night under your
Lanky.
bed. Lanky.
About the same weight, little taller.
Yeah, spaghetti noodle. Okay, so how you start? This is how you properly shotgun a beer. This is the clean way, not the way you're gonna see some fuckboy do it where he blows up beer everywhere and everyone's like, that guy's a mess. You want to look classy and you want to be slick about it. You want to do it so people don't even see it, man. They don't know anything about it, and they see you do it. So you take your can, whatever the hell it may be. See where the tab is here? See that? See where the opening is? You want that facing upwards like this, because your air is going to go through here to here and down your throat. So you always want the tab pointing down and the opening at the up part. Okay, you're going to turn it just like this. You're going to pull it up like that. You're going to find your air pocket, because imagine the fluid is floating like this right now. So there's a good air pocket right here. You take a beer tab. You just find that little soft spot there. You just bleed the pressure off.
Bleed the pressure.
Bleed the pressure. Now it's no longer a live can. It's not like a bomb that needs to be diffused.
Can't danger can it anymore.
You can't danger can it anymore, and you've officially defused the bomb. So now you take your beer tab, you stick it back in there, just straight like your ex-boyfriend. You put it in there, and you cut like a.
That's why I had to break up.
You cut a gash in it. You take that how you want it, but you cut a line, a line, a gash.
A line, straight.
And then you take the tab, you put pressure with your thumb, and you carve it open like a door, like just a circle, like that. Look at that hole you got now. Okay. Then you pull this tab down, you push that down in your finger, down the bottom of the can. You can also push it out a little more, make it flush of the can. But now you got a non-messy, diffused bomb of a beer, and all your fluid's sitting right there. Eh? See it? Okay. So now, see that? It's open. That end and that end, they're perfectly going to flow like this and that. Take your fingernails, keep it like this, put your fingernails under the tab, get it pried up, put your lips on it like you're a catfish, like a greasy catfish bottom feeder, like your bottom feeder such as myself. Put your lips there, and then you're going to go like a motion like this, and as it goes like this, you're going to go, and you're just going to hum on her. You're just going to frickin' hum on her. Ready? Actually, I need you to move your beautiful knee
Get
there.
out of the way.
Watch this. It's gonna be like you're gonna make halfway up, and you're gonna want to feed the beer, so it's like going right down your gullet. So you want to be a bit of an angle, so it's kind of upside down. You'll see. Ready? Boom. You have shotgunned a beer very quickly.
About 3 seconds. Because you don't count 1, 2. You go 0, 1, 2. I put 4 there. Probably about 3 seconds. Down in Kentucky,
Sucks
it's
starting a
about
D9 dozer.
3.5 seconds.
So what was I say again? That's how you do it. Smooth. And you make it, I don't want to say it, but you make a sucking motion and you suck on it. Some guys do it straight down the gullet because they can open their throats, which I think's gayer, but hey, power to you. Let's read some comments before Colin gets into his. Always eating, yet in trouble staring at dudes. Italian Mike's actually French. That's funny. Skullboy pays attention to the channel. Italian Mike's actually French. That's hilarious. Because Mike, I always thought he was like, hey, it's Mike. And he always thought he was Italian. But he's not. He's French. Little French prick, eh? Always
Adam.
eating. Head angle to one side. The guy who really wants to. Yeah. What is correct tool for the proper nozzle for a shotgun? Tanner getting along very well with your ex-boyfriend. Is that a car key? No, it's a beer tab. Angry Atheist, Clyde, do something. Just came online. What you gonna do to keep me here, man? I can't compete with Clyde because it depends what you're into. Like if you're into goofy shit like this, that guy's got nothing on me. If you're into political shit and him having like actual giving you political value, then if that's what you're looking for tonight, I can't touch Clyde. No homo. The guy's a legend. Head's gonna explode. Deep throat. Tanner could suck. Start a D9 dozer. You can go faster. You are swallowing. Just open your throat. See, that's the thing. I haven't learned how to open my throat yet. Some of my ex-boyfriends haven't been very nice to me, so I'm very afraid of just opening up. God, that was gay. I'm gonna get demonetized just for that. Sawed off Frenchman. Yo, dog. While I was at your house too. Okay, who's Skullboy? Is that Ian? Who's Skullboy? Clyde don't shotgun beers. Tanner the sponge. I don't know what that means. People call me a sponge for many reasons. I sponge energy. I have a good time. People call me a sponge because Kevin lied to everybody and told them that I stole his cigarettes. So, yes, it's Ian. I knew it. How did I know? I don't know. Something with the Skullboy thing. Something about that tells me that's you. I don't know why. My wife's boyfriend is also a good one. My wife's boyfriend. What city are you guys in? I have to meet you guys close to Calgary.
Black Diamond.
You can't tell people where I live. I'm on YouTube, man.
Dude, I'm sorry.
People show up at my house. It's fucked. They're like, hey, man. I'm like, hey, dude, you can't show up my house. I'm sorry. You can't just randomly show up at my house.
Diamond? Can't really figure it out. Black Diamond? Kind of looks like a vagina. Just
Now.
the way we like to set up our hands.
No.
Hey,
It's time to show them.
oh, I had a question, but I forget.
It's okay. Show them. Show them how you
Right
do
now, folks.
it. Show them how you do it.
Paper towels. You're gonna need a lot of them, and then you're gonna need to put them away and stop using so many. You freaking using them to wipe your ass. That's a little bit rough.
Why are you using paper? You're hurting the planet. It's time to use the ass sprayers.
So for everybody tuning in, me and Tanner, we're buddies from Raven. I'm a DJ and I do a podcast, and we like to mutually drink quite a few beers and can handle them. Competitions are regular on not sprinting, but just maybe shotgunning beers. Shotgunning beers is part of the culture, okay? So when I get around the world, I tell people like, yo, why is it that, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, it makes me feel warm inside. It makes me feel
Because other people don't do it in other countries, right?
gushy. A lot less. They might have seen it in National Lampoons or something.
Really?
Maybe. If they are at all multicultural, they would know that Pacific Northwest kind of people shotgun a beer. And the way I've learned, hey folks from Golden, and my brother Dean's about the fastest boy I know. He about 6'9". No, he's not.
You challenging me? You challenging me right now? You're hurting my ego.
Okay, quickly now. For me, I don't need much, but I do find it super important, and I don't like anybody spilling like, you just spray this down like this. The pressure and the beer is down here. It's gonna go straight on your kitchen, straight on the roof. Your mom's gonna see it. You're gonna get caught. You don't want to be doing that. All right. So you tipping this up. You got an air bubble right here.
You start the same way I do with that.
Super easy. Super easy. So people like to line this up. So when you go, you're just right here. But the way I like to do it, I like to turn this thing a little bit crazy. Why is he doing that? He asks. Just like it. It's different. Saw my brother do it. Try to keep up.
Well, you do yours sideways?
I do.
Oh,
I have it
really?
sideways. So I'm in like this, and it's comfy. There's no straight. This my.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. Show me. So you're like this.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're
Sideways.
doing your right hand to crack it?
You bet.
And where's
then
your hole
I'm
right
in
here?
like this, and then so I.
But it's faster when you do it like this because it goes straight like a funnel. That's why it's quicker for me.
This could be true.
Yeah, because the air feeds it down. But
Well,
yours seems comfier.
Yeah.
Trade-offs.
I like comfortability.
You're like a liberal.
Liberal. Okay, so when there's pressure, you don't need much. Some people can actually just like push their thumb right here. I have yet to do that. And when you crack this and your finger is inside at any time, when you twist, you can likely cut your finger, so please be careful. And
if there was, say, a knife like this, and this was a knife, and you poke right here, you're applying pressure. I have seen people go right through, right into their hand. So don't
I
do
cut my
that
lip
too.
open one time.
Don't be doing that.
I cut my lip open.
Okay, for me, because there's pressure, this doesn't hurt me too much. Do not open bottles with your teeth. That's the first thing my dad taught me, because he said he's seen a lot of teeth snap in half. I'm just gonna pull up this canine right in here because there's pressure, and as the pressure's there, it's actually a piece of cake. And you're gonna see me have the carbon in my mouth. I'm gonna blow out like I'm smoking like Tanner.
Yeah. You got your little fang tooth?
See that?
Canine.
And then so I got a hole, and it's big enough for me to just get my thumb. If you have a nail or not, I'm just pushing down, bam. So it looks like this. I pushed it down to the bottom. I'm moving it side to side because I want it a bit bigger. So I'm just tackling side. I'm shaking, I'm excited. Show you my culture. My culture.
I'm stretching.
When you're big enough, the beer makes you sometimes, I don't know, I was gonna say think clear, but that might be wrong to say. Just quickly now, I'm spreading across, whoop, getting wider because I want it wider this way, and all the way down because you want to get as much as you can. You don't want to waste it, and you don't want a little bit happening there. Tooth, bang, thumb, in, twisting. With practice, you learn not to hurt yourself. If you hang out with us, we can monitor you. We're actually doing, did you tell them? We're actually doing tutorials, tutoring, about 80 an hour.
Yeah, you want to look like a legend? Like, we're going to get you going. Like, you want to go to a party and just fucking own the place?
Oh, right.
People say they can handle, I can drink how many beer in a night? Yeah, cunt. But how fast can you drink them?
Shit. I've messed up.
Yeah, that's a big one.
God,
that's
way too wide. I can't even show you, and I don't want to spill a goddamn drop.
that's a lip cutter, bud.
It's about as wide as.
My ex-boyfriend is.
No, you go for the skinnier boys. Fernando is more saucy.
Fernando's hella tight.
So I don't really understand. We were talking about how to do this faster. We talk about like as soon as your lips are on there and that beer is like, I don't know. Once you got it sealed, you want to be up and cracked and sucking as hard as you can.
Oh, yes.
Once you've got it
Yes.
sealed, the door.
One of my ex-boyfriends speaking knowledge.
I don't know. I'll get down here. I'm worried about this, but you don't have to be.
There's a lot of boyfriend talk in here.
Yeah.
And you have officially shotgunned a beer. Look at that foam. You didn't drink the foam, you sick bastard.
You can't. And this is something we've been trying to figure out too. How do you get this lower to finish absolutely every drop? How do you do it?
You don't. No one does. It's not a thing.
That's what we kind of came up with.
It's the foam. It's only the foam that's left. That's
trying
why
to-
when you take the can after, it's like foam. Same with danger cans. You bang a fucking can off your head, you blow it up, and then the whole idea with the danger can is you hum the foam back. It's funny. It's the complete opposite. You waste all the beer, and you get the remaining foam. Oh, you see me danger can, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen me professionally at my professional
I haven't
perfect
thought
ones?
about it.
Have you seen my perfection ones? Where I'll do like you do like 3 hums of the can like this, and then I go boom, and it explodes, and I hum the foam back like this. You hum it up, and it goes like a fucking rainbow into your mouth.
What? Where does it come from? Comes from the can being split?
Yeah. So what happens on a perfect danger can? You'll hit it like this, and the idea is it doesn't hurt, but people think like there's a soft spot here, right? So if you hit it dead on, like right here, it'll blow both ends of the can out. And usually it blows out the top end, and it will poke like a little V out of here. It'll blow all the fluid out like boom, like a huge explosion. Then you go like this. You go like this, you go, and you hum all the foam back. It's so retarded, but it's great. It's a huge party trick.
I was thinking of like, okay, happy Friday, everybody, and maybe we're a little nervous and excited, and sometimes I know I was. The feeling's the same, like when you want to talk to a girl or you got something super important going on, like before a DJ gig. I'm always feeling that stomach quench, the nervous, and one thing is people like to drink alcohol to numb themselves from it. Everything that you can do to, like, some things that are challenging, things that hurt you a little bit, things that you know in your direction for your life that you need to be doing, pushing yourself through a little bit of pain will bring you reward. And that's my advice. So I try not to, I try to notice if I'm like, hey, I gotta fucking get drunk right before this date because I need to be calm and cool for this person. It's like, rethink what's going on. Maybe hang out with people that are exciting and you are genuinely comfortable in what you're up to. Things like that. Felt like that with acid.
Hey,
In the comment section below.
hey, time me.
Sure.
Let's do it.
So we're getting warmed up here in the garage. I don't know what I can tell you to do to
Tearing
get.
into it.
So should I, as soon as you open
Right
the
when you hear-
can? But then it's already it's in your mouth already. When does this start and stop?
Just try when right when I'm about to do ready?
You tell me, and then you.
I'm about to go. Right when you hear the
I think the beer's already in your mouth at that point.
yeah, but then when I pull it out, there'll be that time frame where you're hitting stop. So it will equalize out, I think.
I'm in on you.
Ready?
Yeah.
3 seconds, god damn it. Slow. My record's like 2.6 or 2.7.
Hey.
That's weak.
We gotta shave off some minutes. We gotta get you trained.
You ready for fucking next year at Shambhala?
How do we get trained in this?
You just keep doing it. Water helps.
I hope you guys like, I don't know. It is slightly impressive when we do things that are extravagant or when things are over the top a little bit. It's kind of like Burning Man. Set up a whole car.
How many tabs can you do, dude?
I can't do more than, I've never done more than 1.5.
I've never done more than 2.
Yeah.
That was the best. I love 2.
There's people talking about LSD on the channel, and that is derived from ergot. A gentleman was studying ergot. I believe he was German in Europe, I believe, and he was trying to get a antidepressant, and then he stumbled across a part of ergot. Ergot is a fungus. So are mushrooms, and that thing between your feet. I ain't telling anyone. I'll lick it there. But a part of ergot is this acid, LSD, and this man accidentally discovered it, and he's got good things to say about it. He came up with it, just like the guy who came up with shotgunning. He says great things about it. Super biased, just like Justin Trudeau.
What a piece of crap!
So I don't know as much as Tanner does about Justin Trudeau and the whole, I don't know, system. I've done my own thinking, as we all should, and we should feel into ourselves on what's right. Pandemia, feeling as if people are lying to me and bullying is the worst and never really is justified. Someone not telling you what's in this drink and me telling you to drink it, just like a vaccine. Vaccine, allegedly, RNA mover, RNA inhibitor, something, and not telling you what is in it, that's lack of trust, man. That's not honesty, and that sucks. And fuck, dude, they limiting the channel when you're live streaming, and the way that people will take bribes, people will accept money. YouTube, I believe, is tied in with governments because I believe they would profit for doing what, I don't know, a popularity thing says, or they're a little bit intimidated to do their own thing because the government of Canada, YouTube is from America, and they do this all over the place, and so does Facebook. They got in touch with, the government of Canada got in touch with YouTube and is like, yo, just by the way, anybody who says these keywords, make sure we stop them and make sure we don't let them speak. And that shit was happening. And I don't know. You ever been ghosted before? Or you ever just had a dream where someone's on top of you trying to give you something that you don't want to have and you can't talk about it?
What are you talking about, them fights where like you have rubber arms?
Talking about your ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
On top of you.
But he's trying to get at you and you're just like throwing punches, but they're not doing anything in your dream.
And you
You're just
can't
like rubber
talk.
fists.
Because you're not allowed to talk about it. Are you good here? You want to be closer?
Oh, I can go like this too. Look at
Whatever makes it. Whatever makes it.
So that's how guys lose their teeth. How do guys lose their teeth? Trish West.
What the heck was I even talking about? Talking about YouTube banning people. Maybe shotgunning is how people lose their teeth. People talking about LSD knowledge. Take everything with a grain of salt because every single human has just heard a collaboration of words that make them tell you what they think.
Oh, too much math. Richard Nessman.
Get a few opinions. So I was sound manager at
By having a big
the
mouth where I
same
come from.
festival that I met you at. I was doing sound managing this time, and I truly thought that I would run around and ask a bunch of people how they felt about the sound, how they felt about just people who were like right at the front and people right at the back, and just be like, hey, how is this sounding to you? Is there anything you had to...
Hey,
Like-
let me know if that heater's too loud to hear us. I'm just kicking up the heat in here for a second.
It's Canada.
So quick update, let me know right now how that heater is. If it's super loud, I don't know how the mic picks it up, but
Hopefully you can hear us still.
getting new rear gear in my Z28 Richard Nessman. What are you getting for a gear there, bud? What are you putting in there? A 410? 373? What are you putting in there for a gear?
You are not the you are not the center of the world, and you don't know everything. Make sure you reach out to people.
Who said that?
Me.
Oh.
Yeah, like checking in, talking to people. Because, well, we are one opinion, and we do know, like, sometimes best maybe if we're an expert at something, but you can maybe never remain an expert at something, or you could be doing something best for you and be fucking up other people. You could be going down a road, and you're the best at what you do, but you actually fuck people up along your way, and if you never check in with them, or you'll never even get their opinions, you'll never get so much. Collaboration and communication with people is lit. Oh goodness. The how matters, Colin. Agreed. Thanks, dude. Call me Galaxy. It actually offends me calling me Colin now.
Why?
I'm fully star sexual. I'm from the universe. No, I always say to people, I picked up the name Galaxy at Fairy Creek, and then I say to people, my dad is the universe. Get that? I think
you know, eh?
Yeah, I'm good.
Pump some heat into here.
Electric heat. I got all excited, so my blood was pumping around. Yeah.
I see Jilly.
So what are you gonna work on next?
Videos and cars.
What do you
Same
want
thing I do every day.
Like what kind of videos?
I got one I'm doing where I come back from Kentucky and I come across the border. Well, I already did that one, but I'm kind of like doing a vlog on it where I do the airport and then I go to try to fix the car, and then, you know, there's a whole story with the guy I met down there, and then it kind of turns into this border crossing video, and then that's kind of how I end my Kentucky video series. And then my next video is a video I made hitchhiking, my experience hitchhiking, going to get the car at an impound, stuff like that. So that's a super cool one I did, very informative one. And I have another one I'm working on that I filmed way back in June or May when I had the Cobra still, where I went out and did a filming gig for a transport company. So I show people what's behind the curtain of how I film, how I orchestrate rollers, and how I orchestrate like the drone shots, how I actually film them, what's in the whole process of just getting up in a day, going out and just starting a gig and going out and just getting rollers and collaborating, or I guess you could call it orchestrating people and getting them all in line to do these shots. So that's a really cool one, super informative video. And then I got another one I'm working on with the Trans Am, getting it going. And then what's the other video? I got another one somewhere saved up there.
What's your motivation for getting these videos? How did you get that?
Teaching people. Oh, just being passionate about filming. I think my dad, when I was a kid, he had, it's crazy. I look back on it and I was like, what got me so into cameras and filming and photography? It started with photography, led into videography. But I think what got me going with it was when I was a kid, my dad used to have a VHS cam, one of those big ones built in your shoulder. And he spent a lot of money and time with that thing. Like, you know, he bought it and it was a very expensive, cool toy to have back then. And he filmed all the time with it. Like anyone who ever had one, just like GoPros these days, never used them. And not many people had them. So he would film everything. And he had VHSs out the yin-yang of us, like family vacations, this and that. Mm-hmm. So I guess growing up with that was like always in the back of my mind, like, oh, filming's cool and capturing things is cool. And like subconsciously having that in my mind. And then now that I'm older,
I'm just really passionate about photography and videography, and it's grown into this thing where, you know, which is why I blew up on the convoy, which is why I reached so many people on the convoy, is because I just had a vision of capturing a convoy. I'm like, when else in life am I going to get a chance to film something that's like out of an 80s movie, like a convoy movie or like Smokey and the Bandit? I said, I'm going to have all sorts of vibes going into this thing. So that was one of the reasons I went, is because it was like, this is going to be so cool and such an opportunity to film. And I didn't think it was going to blow up like it did. I thought it was going to impact like thousands of people. I didn't think it was going to impact millions of people. And then it did. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm stuck in Ottawa now. I was going to go there and just come home. And then I realized, I'm like, people want to see what's going on.
Whew.
And they were paying me to be there. And I'm like, okay, this works. And yeah.
You fucking started getting blocked though and shit. And then that was like such.
I got shadow banned. That's when I learned what shadow banning was. I always heard it was a thing. I feel like commentators I watched on YouTube, but when I seen it happen to me, I was like, oh, I can't say certain things. Instagram, like, I was growing, but then I'd have like dead spouts and shit, and I'd have to learn what to say, what not to say. And then it's still like, I didn't even care. I didn't care about monetization or anything. I wasn't making any money off monetization. I was getting shadow banned, and some of my stuff was getting suppressed. YouTube doesn't outright admit they have a shadow banning process, but they definitely do. It's how you work the algorithm. But it was such a huge controversial subject that I couldn't help but get views, because people just knew where to go. They wanted to see it, and they kind of knew what channels to go to, and everyone was talking.
You were super reliable.
Well, it was super communal too, though, because like, even though YouTube wasn't putting me in recommended or going through the algorithm process, it was just the fact that people were talking such large volumes in all these communities. Like, go watch Tanner O'Crane Thai Roaster's Garage, and then people would go watch me just because they told them to, even though YouTube wasn't recommending. Like, if YouTube,
That's what I was doing. Yeah.
yeah, in a normal world where you blow up that fast and gain that much of a following and have that many views, in a real world scenario in a non-controversial subject, you're going to get recommended nonstop, and your channel's going to go like this. It's going to, like, you know, as long as you're putting out good content. But you could tell the way it was slowing down, and then it would go and then it would slow down. You could tell YouTube was suppressing it in a sense, or maybe not suppressing it, but not recommending it. And then other people were just like being like, bro, check this guy out. Check this guy. He's doing crazy stuff. But Angry Atheist said, I kept popping up. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm making East Indian dinner for my boyfriend and his brother. They're all still at the gym. 3 seconds is crazy.
Trish West. Big shout out, man. Trish West making dinner for people. Getting the nutrients you need to start and end your day. Whenever, like, maybe you're starting a night shift, so you're starting your day. Uncle Mikey, fucking. The advice of Uncle Mike. Keep it in your mind. Oh, man. It's funny how I get a great kind of question, and then it just fades from me. And then I'm worried about the question in my own mind to continue a conversation, and then fucking stop it. I think it's with the mindset of being on record. I've always been trying to figure this out. Like, on record, stopping yourself and trying to do something for a thing now instead of just doing the thing. You're missing, or I am thinking twice before even doing something. Does that make sense?
Whatever happened to the Kevin boxing match? He didn't accept. He told me I had to come fight him bare knuckle, and I'm like, let's be realistic from a logistical standpoint. I'm not into fighting bare knuckle. Call me a pussy, call me whatever you will. I'm not into getting clocked in the head, especially by some raging lunatic. And honestly, if we're gonna get clout behind it, and we're gonna get people watching, and we're gonna raise money for a charity, like my plan was, we're gonna do it by setting this up and doing it long time, and maybe gloves come off as part of the agreement. But he was like, straight, no, you come down, box me at my shop. I'm like, no, man, you've threatened me with death threats, and you have threatened me with violence. You've been in my face. The last thing I'm doing is just showing up at your place. What you're doing is you're coming to my place, and you're going through security because you have all your gang banging history and your knives and your guns and all that shit. You can look it up right now if you want on a criminal record check on them. But I'm not doing that. I'm doing this safe. I'm doing it legit. If I'm going to generate money for anything, it's going to be done right. And I've laid out the terms for him. He doesn't accept. I filmed an official video to launch on my YouTube channel. I'm still planning on putting out when I get around to it, but all the other stuff's kind of taking priority right now. But I have given him the real ultimatum, and I thought it'd be really cool to actually get into a boxing match and inspire each other to train and get in shape, and, you know, but there is an age gap. He's in his 50s, I think. I think he is. He's in his late 40s or he's in his 50s, and he's small. He's in a different weight class than me, so I don't know how we'd work that, but I don't know. I feel like it would have been a really funny video series, because I was going to make a video where I go down and I train with my old boxing teacher, and I have him strapped to my back like Yoda. And I do, I hike around with them in the rainforest on the island because my ex boxing teacher lives on the island out by Duncan now, outside of Nanaimo. And I was gonna go run around the rainforest with them strapped to my back for like a funny like montage. Then him having me do wax on, wax off on my Camaro and stuff, training for the boxing match that we'd be doing in May or June is when it would be 2023. So there's a lot of planning and stuff that went into it, but he is not the kind of guy that's going to do it. He's just not. He's just, he's like, no videos. He says, we fight, no videos. I'm like, that's not how it works, man. I'm not gonna fight you for no reason. I gotta fight you because we gotta raise money for a convoy for the charity and pay some of these truckers for fuel. Because not everybody was in the position he was, where he had his whole company given to him by his family, right? Like a lot of guys were independent truckers that, put everything on the line to go there, and they lost a lot. And Richard says he's from Duncan. That's hilarious. Edward Mamuta, I think is his name. He's a really cool guy. He's the fastest son of a bitch on the planet, I swear. Love how he totally got roasted when he claimed he stole his hat, and I have the evidence of it, and I show him lying. Crazy. Yeah, but whatever. That's all done with for now. Let's move on.
I like when Tanner is calm and cool and doesn't get all worked up about the, I don't know, political situations, and like he buries his mind in, like, I don't know how he puts it all together, but I guess you do watch a lot of news, you do think a lot, and you have your own opinions, and you are very real and grounded for what is, like, in the physical. You can fix cars. You can also, we've had some good emotional and spiritual conversations. So then Tanner, when he goes off on a stint and he's like thinking, bang, 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 this is why the government does this. This guy fucking lied to me because of this, and I have proven this, and I have seen, and I know that. Bang, 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 going down. Okay, well, what I'm saying is I like it when you are not too bothered by everything that's going on in the world.
Not a negative vibe.
It's not everything positive or negative. It's like our relative to us, and then the things that are going on in the world, and then like potentially getting pissed about them. Fuck. But maybe that's fuel.
It is fuel for me, and I don't let them, like, when it's in the moment, it's in the moment, but I don't go to bed with it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't go there and be like, oh man.
It's usually daytime when this happens. You have a little
Well,
more energy.
it's daytime, and I think about things and I process them, and it is fuel for me. Like, it honestly is. Like my gym routine, the reason I've lost a lot of weight both times is I lost 50 pounds, 60 pounds before, and I've done it again 5 years, 7 years after the fact. And it's always drive for like extra. I don't know if this is good or bad, but there's always a drive there, and like maybe a bit of pettiness. There's always been something like that, but it's not something I like. Also, will be like wrecking my day, or like being like, oh, I can't work on this car because I'm pissed, or I can't go hiking with the girlfriend and the dog because I'm mad, and I'm gonna go there and bitch the whole time and be on a negative vain vibe. I'm very conscious of the vain. I don't want to be in vain about anything. I don't want to hold on to things like in the moment and like use it as fuel and then go, but then like leave it at that. You know what I mean?
Sure. I guess like upon discovery of some things, like maybe if I talk about something that's so funny about property taxes, and then you're like, yeah, taxes that the government takes from us, and then recently they are doing this to us, and this motherfucker did this to us, and this.
Let's get him! Fuck yeah!
We gotta fucking hang them all.
Whoa! Can't say that.
Oh man.
People were saying that though on the convoy. They were like, which gave us bad rep, but it was also like a lot of people felt that way, but they weren't saying it. But they're like,
oh man. In Fairy Creek, just being out there and just having police come up to me, and they're just like, such. It's like 3.5.
that was long.
3.5.
That was unacceptable. Oh, make the foam. Oh, gross.
When I was in Fairy Creek is an ancient tree protest, and it's like Canadians or the tax money is sending police over to us, and they're getting us out of the forest to get the loggers back to work, which is in the numbers of, I don't even know how many we were really blocking, maybe 20, and then
20 what?
loggers, maybe.
Oh.
Like, I saw the same, maybe a few more, because there's 3 trucks of like, well, fuck man, it could be between 14 and 20.
That was for Teal Jones's thing, right?
Yeah, cutting old growth on the south of Vancouver Island, and there's that many people that could maybe make like $200,000 maybe over the course of the summer, cutting the last of the old growth on that south of the island. Old growth is just ancient trees that are like above 200 years old, or a certain girth.
2 to like 800, right? In that forest?
Some of them are fucking ages old. And for the process of them to be so long, they've never been touched, and the weaker ones have fallen, and the ones are still there through fires, through so many things, way past how long you've ever lived, motherfucker. And your culture, these things are the culture. And the police would show up and they would just be unreasonable, and they'd be like, what do you think you're doing and stuff. And I just feel like I was there because I was protecting like their kids, or if they wanted anything, they wanted to live longer. I felt strongly like I was helping that. Now, we don't know how much we're actually affecting things, and it's kind of like a statement, or a statue statement, in being out there and protecting the last of the old growth in the area. It's 2%. It's fucking tiny. Like maybe the car is on this, maybe this one car on the vehicle, and that's all that's left, and the whole vehicle's gone, and they still want to get the last car. I mean, tire. Roaster's garage.
No, when I went and I checked it out too, because I was like, what are you guys talking about? I'm like, I'm trying to see it from both perspectives, and I watched the mainstream perspective on it, as always. You always check out what the mainstream's talking about first. And they're talking about how, okay, loggers want to come in, they want to do this, and they need this and this and that. It was just all money talk. And they said they'll replant, and there'll be secondary and third.
They'll just keep replanting, so they think.
They keep, but then you start learning about secondary growth forests, and 9 times out of fucking 10, they're not planted right, and they don't grow anything like they do originally from nature.
I don't know if it's 9 times out of 10. Could be 50%.
Maybe it's 50%. I mean, maybe
10%.
It was definitely, no, it was a lot. It was a lot of these forests never grow like the original old growth forest did.
Oh, they can't be the original old growth because that ecosystem's been there for so long. Like the moss and the height of the trees. There's literally like 3 ecosystems.
Well, yeah, and the biodiversity within them, and the just the separation of the trees. Like everything's so natural. Like you say, you walk through a secondary old growth forest, walk through a real old growth forest. Way more accommodating than the original old growth. So I go out to Fairy Creek to check it out and see what's going on, and it's true. Like, I mean, these old growth forests, I mean, it's like the last intact watershed on the island that hasn't been completely capitalized on. And I walked through this thing. I scaled 2 mountain peaks. Like, this is when I was like 240 pounds. Like, it was tough, but I go through there to check it out, and I start realizing what's actually going on. And here we go again. And I realized that, yeah, like these watersheds actually create life. They spawn salmon and steelhead. And it was really beautiful to walk through there. It was super mystical. Everything was intact. The forest floor was alive. The trees were spaced. There's so many different species of trees. Like, it was so cool to see. And then I go and I listen to the people in the Fairy Creek arguing their point in person, and they make really good points. Then I go watch them in the technology. They fall apart. They fall apart within this thing. Talk, and they don't want to be interviewed. And I go and I listen to it. And I'm like, dude, the loggers are just saying they want money. That's a ridiculous hole. Look, show them the hole.
Look how clean this is, though. Look how much I finished.
You pulled most of it. I'm gonna throw up. But yeah, no, Fairy Creek, that's a really cool thing that I got to experience. I can't believe that place is real. How is it these days?
Okay, dude, I brought this up because we talked about people who wanted to hang people at the trucker convoy.
Oh, yes.
Like, whatever, like, allegedly. No. People speak words. People say a lot of things. People have a lot of ideas. Whether or not they pursue them, and whether or not how much we should be like limiting people from speaking certain words and limiting people from doing things because they're gonna have violent tendencies, it's a median. But I was out there, and I was out there for a really long time, and I was in the best goddamn shape of my life. And I felt like I was just doing us real good for just, I don't know, nature needs to exist, and we can't exist without it. I really don't think, like, there's going to be some other futures, and blow my mind if you want. These cops would come up, and they would just treat us like shit. They would talk to us so poorly, and they would be so mean. And these are people that are getting our tax money, your tax money if you're in Canada, and it's an impossible fight because you're going to get arrested, you're going to get arrested again, and then you're going to be imprisoned, and you are paying them to come show up to you, and you're super nice. And I just thought to myself, like, a cop would like weigh up with me, and I'd be there, and it would just be me, and he's like, it's time for you to move. And it's like they're pushing the line back to get closer to the trees as we're on these individual roads. And I would just be like, I could fucking eat you. Like, you are so fucking out of shape. You are like, you struggle to walk up these hills. You are like, and it's incredibly primal where that would come from, and it's not ever what I did. But I would think it and take offense to it if you want to hear it. Like, we shouldn't have to be violent with people. We shouldn't have to kill anybody. I don't know why we get to points that
That's animalistic nature, though. That's what everything that we are, and the reason we draw breath right now, and you and I are here doing this, is because of violence. That is the only reason we're here.
Isn't it because of love, bro?
No, because like I said, like if you want to protect something and you want to really like, if you look back at nature, everything that's been protected and preserved has been because of like some uprising in, mostly until recently we found a way in these democracies and stuff to be more civil. And then we get into the progressive stuff, accepting everybody, loving the hippie phase. That was really good, but it distracted us and it's made us weak, I personally think. And I think now like,
well, people haven't been hurt, and the payoff is, I guess, being weak.
well, yeah, like look at World War II. Whether that was a transfer of wealth or it was a whatever it was, the end of World War II, that was the last time we seen real hardship and global disruption. And it was violence. There was so many people died and they were slaughtered in very violent ways. This was primitive technology then. It wasn't like now. It wasn't as quick. A lot of people had drawn out long, bloody, gruesome death. And this is what this whole thing was. Hitler did his thing, and there is a lot of crazy shit. Now we've been in this era of peace, and we stand on the pavement to which our forebears paved for us. And we've just been getting like chill. Everything's good, man. Just grab some Subway, dude.
Barely, like, worried about things. Like, hanging out, not even like, yeah. Like, I love to be chill, but actually there's this fucking instincts and shit where I complain about stuff that is so first world.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. Now we're like, we need many bathrooms, like possibly 3 bathrooms, like an all-exclusive bathroom. Maybe we need 56 bathrooms. We need a lot of bathrooms to accommodate these people who have these feelings. And the feelings are like more like my feelings hurt. You shouldn't say these words. Comedy, you can't go down the comedy road.
Can't say you want to eat people or hang people.
Yeah, so I mean, we're getting to the point now where it's like it's getting so progressive. People are getting super discontent.
Maybe okay, that can maybe offend you.
But yeah, people are getting super discontent. So I think what comes next with the world the way it's going, if this is all real, and if the climate policy, like we have a third party interest dictating climate policy in our democracy, which is the World Economic Forum.
Right now.
And things like that are happening, and people are getting really mad, and they're starting to go towards violence. And the government's even saying themselves, they're saying rhetoric's getting way more violent, way more extreme, way more aggressive. But by human nature, that's what we do when we feel we're under attack. We want to protect. So I feel like it's very possible in the next year to 10 years, we see something crazy happen where shit gets violent, like it did in Sri Lanka or it did in
Vietnam, though, like that's between World War II.
Yeah, it was, yeah, and that's more turmoil, but nothing is global scaled as World War II was, and now we're pushing with like the war in Ukraine, whatever you think about that, and the things that are happening there, and the escalation there of one dictator pushing boundaries and wanting land back. This echoes Nazi Germany, and a lot of people are discontent with that. And a lot of people are discontent with the government over pushing and locking people down, destroying their livelihoods, and implementing a lot more authoritarianism. Like they're coming in, they're trying to control us. People don't like that, so we can't see what the future has. Future's writing itself, and people are saying, they think literally the government is not a communist as a communist government, or the end outcome is not that yet. They think because it's in the moment, they can't see it. And every other time in history, we've had an uprising in communism, Marxism, or some type of authoritarianism, control and mass slaughter of people. People could never see it in the moment. And if they did, they were the small fringe minority. They couldn't see it. But it always, in the end, led to death and violence. And I fear that is what is coming. I don't know, but I feel like that is what we always reset to. And it's been like throughout the graph of history, it's always been that. It's always been violent bloodshed. And that's how we fight for freedoms. Ronald Reagan had a quote that said, freedom is not passed through the bloodstream, it's fought for. And if we are not careful and we don't always fight for it, we won't be able to pass it down through generations. It will not be passed down through. I'm paraphrasing, but
I think as a younger generation gets born, they are just within the freedoms of like, yo, fucking 2 years now we had people wearing masks and they were born into that. And
that's a scary thing.
Like,
indoctrination.
For whatever the hell reasons, so many, and like if you're
I think it's normal now.
super big supporter of mask wearing, that's cool. But if there were like half the population or like 20% of the population that was not cool with it, and then they had to do it, and they're raising their kids that way, that's a freedom. Yeah, super fucking good rant. And then how you said everything has been fought for, everything that we are and here for is all fighting. I just thought of like where we are and just our flesh sacks that we cruise in and flap our lips to communicate. The fucking our immune systems are just fucking killing everything that's trying to invade us right now. We've been like smaller and we work our way out bigger as people are getting larger. It's literally war all the time. In a fucking weird way that I just kind of maybe realized, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, however you visualize how immune systems work, they're fucking eating each other. They're fighting and eating each other right now to keep us alive. But there's also harmony and collaboration between all the organs and between sharing nutrients between the body, which trees have too. Mycelium networks and shit.
The thing is though, like, I feel like people... like we're the first time I think in human history we've seen people like the hippie era really brought up a lot of positivity, and it brought up a lot of like inspirational stuff where you can get through things without violence, you can get through things with unity and with speaking up and becoming a small fringe minority and growing out into a bigger thing, like Rosa Parks, back of the bus, black people, not violent, I don't think, but it was like a small fringe minority that started, okay, we're racist as a white civilization. We need to straighten that out. These things have happened in our most recent years, like in the scheme of the planet and our timeline as humanity. These things have, a lot of these big things have happened in the last 80 years since the end of the war. You know, so I think this is like goes two ways. We have a chance to save us in the most beautiful way possible through unity, which I believe the Freedom Convoy was. Grassroots Canadians getting together and bonding and becoming something and being
sharing.
being so almost flawless in the execution of that whole thing that was completely natural. And we have a way maybe to save civilization this time without violence, without overthrowing a democracy, without going outside of those bounds and actually creating a system where we push the pendulum back and we create unity and we create stability through the positivity that we've learned as this current civilization that makes us so smart.
Well, we can live that way.
Or it goes the other way and we completely collapse as a civilization and shit goes right south.
Okay, how does the collapse look? Like, what makes that collapse?
All the things that are against us. All the things that are like...
What is against us?
A lot of things are against us. The political spectrum, the crazy ideologies that people push to try to suppress us.
They'd be fools. They're like parasites, right? And they're like using us to make more wealth for themselves.
Yeah, like
But if they fucking take too much, they're gonna kill us. And we're not gonna be able to support them.
That's what it is. It's like less than 5%. I think it's like 1% dictating 99%. Yeah. And those people are running us down to the ground. And it's possible that we strike back and we make a change. Like, you look at the protests in the Netherlands against the nitrogen or the fertilizer reduction, whatever it was, can't remember. But they're fighting the government there because they're like, dude, this is not, like, your climate policies are insane. Like, because we look at, like, we know for a fact we have an issue on the earth. We hurt the earth. We have an impact. What they're saying, though, doesn't make sense. A lot of things they say.
It'll kill certain industries. Okay, some things I believe should die. Some things are bound to end because everything changes. Like a relationship. Relationship can end.
Well, in the sense we've got too comfortable, we have too many
fucking fat that you're holding on to comes to an end, and we don't like. We miss it. We love or don't love times we had with it, and depends on what side you're on. But when it gets too like if we move too quick, we can hurt some people. If it hurts the majority, then we're gonna hurt the majority of people, and that fucking sucks. Like if we, okay, so if we suffocate farmers, that's where food comes from.
Yeah, that's
Like,
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
okay. So if we don't get enough crops, like if we suffocate farmers too much, because I don't know what you guys know about like nitrogen being released from, I think rice does too, but a lot of vegetables growing, or I don't think it's the very machines that are being used. I think it's the growth and what it puts into the ground of monocrop farming or whatever kind of farming. There's offsets of things, and if that they're trying to ban releasing too much, but we need all of that food to feed people. But then again, there's like, I think it's 400% food waste from the farm putting seeds into the ground, growing things that die along growing, things that they don't want to take, things that fuck up and they don't capture when they harvest, things that they don't fit into a truck and they just dump things on the ground if they do. When they get to a grocery store finally, and then how many people actually buy the fucking thing, and then the grocery store throws that out. We should fix that. Like, we want to grow so much because we want the fucking rich cunts to keep making so much money to have this insane abundance in our grocery stores, but there's so much food waste happening before the grocery store. The way we go into grocery stores too, I don't know. We need small tribes.
Here's the thing. This is funny. When I first watched Infinity War and Endgame, the Marvel movie with Thanos, everybody got this vibe. Snaps the fingers, half the population gone. Everyone's like, yeah, man, we could use a Thanos in this world. Everyone thought that. We could use a Thanos.
I never saw it. I don't know.
Okay,
I
so
won't decide so quickly because that's a big fucking thing
He collects
to
the
say.
Infinity Wars, and boom, and because he has a vision. He has a vision that there's too much population and the universe cannot sustain itself. It will die. Everything will die because there's too many people and too many resources going to those people. And if we do not get rid of half the population, these people will die. So we all had this thought that's like, if we just had a Thanos. And then we come down, who are we coming into? Who's this guy on our planet?
Okay, wait.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy?
What are we talking about?
Bill Gates. Maybe Bill Gates is Thanos. Because he talks all the time. We gotta lose like a third of the population through vaccines, through whatever. Like, well, what are you saying, man? We're like,
how
we're
many
like,
other
fuck
people
you.
are saying that?
Him. He's got the vision, and he's like, fuck you. We gotta kill a lot of people, and people are just like, man, fuck you, Bill Gates. We should not do that. And everyone's like, then you think about it, it's like, what about Thanos? Maybe Bill Gates got the fucking gauntlet. He's one fucking Infinity Stone away from being like, you know, maybe we need to get rid of half the planet. But none of us are going to allow that to fucking happen because that's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? It's insane, but we're really overpopulated.
We're on a goddamn trip of the very grocery stores and all the food that we're producing is the only way that we would survive because we created all these people because we have all the grocery store's amount of food.
We're super temporarily sustainable. Super temporarily sustainable.
And
very.
Like, we just crush these cans. They're fucking lit. They come from, I think Alexander Keith's comes from, like, the east coast of Canada. This guy comes from fucking Calgary. It's all being driven by the fossil fuel industry, which is debatable.
It's insane because, like, the fossil fuel industry is in the point where we have a lot to sustain us for a lot longer. So say if you did believe electric cars are the way. If you want to believe electric cars are the way, not in 10 years. That they're saying. That's fucking crazy. Because if you've looked at battery growth in the past 10, 20 years, the technology that goes into batteries...
I think it's gone up actually a ton.
It's rapidly increased in, like, the battery's performance. Like, lithium batteries and longevity.
600%.
Yeah, but the technology is rapidly compounding. But the thing is, it's like slave labor and lithium mines. It's like, that is not sustainable. And if that's what we're doing in 10 years from now, electric cars do not work. Our power grid will not sustain it. So if we're trying to cancel fossil fuels in the next 10 years to bring in electric, it's just not going to work. Unless for some reason in the next 10 years, we compound so fucking hard that's like, oh yeah, we're no longer lithium mining. We got this actual process that's super purist, perfectly healthy for the planet, and electric cars are sustainable. That's not going to happen. Now, oil...
Why do you say that? How do you know that?
I don't know that. I actually don't. But
What
I feel
makes
like...
you feel that?
I feel like it's just not...
I want to shout out to Joe Rogan and Jamie for being on that computer.
We need a Jamie. But here's the thing. I don't think it is. It's possible. This is my argument with it. I've always said maybe it is possible. Maybe it is. In the next 10 years, by what is it, 2035, they want to get rid of all petrol cars
Who
in
says
Canada.
that? Is that the EU or
No,
Trudeau?
Trudeau's dictated by
Trudeau's
foreign
done,
policy.
man. He's out.
He's out.
He's fucked. He's literally fucked.
But here's the thing: 2035, we want to get rid of all sales of petrol cars. Not ban petrol cars, but I guarantee you, by that year, there will be bans on petrol cars, or our insurance premiums will be so high we won't be able to sustain driving them. Especially with the rate like inflation's going right now and shit. But the thing is, he wants the banning of all petrol vehicles by 2035, but by 2028 or 2030 or something like that, we have to see a 50 or 60% rise. All dealerships, the main three, have to see a 60% rise in electric vehicle sales. So this is like they're pushing very hard right now because apparently vehicles are going to save the planet, which there's a lot of things showing that it doesn't. But I personally don't think we're going to be at that point by 2035. So I think I think that oil is super sustainable. We're in the most refined, cleanest process we've ever been in with it. And it's only getting better. I think there's more than enough reserves. We know there's more than enough reserves to last us way the fuck longer than 2035. So we can actually push, say if we do want to go to electric cars, want to build a grid that's capable of sustaining it, we push petrol or oil production for a lot longer, maybe 40 more years, 50 more years, and allow this stuff to phase in and the technology to grow efficiently with it so we can actually make the transition much more peacefully and sustainably instead of what they're saying. What they're saying, I don't think they're going to hit their targets, and I think they're going to have to push it off longer because of this. I think our oil production is like, just the fact that we're selling oil, we're buying oil from other countries and we're bringing it over on barges is fucking insane. Like,
mad respect though, I guess, to all the other countries that need like to have some work, and we hold like in Canada a ton of oil and minerals and trees and things like that, and then like all those other lives that would need that stuff, and like if we didn't fucking rape and pillage Canada, they would have to like work a little harder and figure some other shit out. So like, you know, I've empathy for all those other people who are just like getting the easy boat for us, just like getting paid Canadian dollars, which are inflating like a motherfucking crazy son of a bitch, and we're also getting stupider and stupider by like working in one industry, like in pipelines or in the trees, lumber industry, things like that, sending all that over. Okay, so what you're talking about with fossil fuels, buddy, I think they want to stop that because of the carbon going into the air, and that could be because of fossil fuels. There could be some like giant other contributors that we're not educated enough, and we're just trying to make like music and videos for you guys. But
yeah, these are all just opinions.
Even if we switch over to, I see a huge issue in every single bit of energy that needs to be transferred into having everybody do everything they're doing with electric cars. We need to go mine those batteries with gasoline. and then that's a tremendous amount of carbon going into the atmosphere, and then those batteries do die too, so you also need more minerals, etc. I want to say, like, with you sticking to the idea of hanging around fossil fuels for 40 years, say what they're predicting, I think, is with the amount we output carbon at the moment, we're gonna fuck ourselves. And like it doesn't in 40 years, when you put it out there, it doesn't fuck you up exactly in 40 years time. It continues fucking you up in 40 more years. I literally just think, and Bill Gates, like, big ups, I'm not going to kill everyone, and I'm just going to let us all die together because we may just have too many people. And this, you know, we've been brainwashed, by the way. All this information we don't know. You don't know how much your fucking cars put out, do you? You haven't even done the math yourself, have you? Right? All of this we're making up. I don't mean to be a downer. And all of this has been just scientists that have been paid to figure something out for somebody because they're just looking to get paid, because they're just out there in the fucking hustle too, being like, hey, I'm a scientist now. I studied physics in university. I'm $100,000 in debt. Hey, you have something you want me to do? Sure, I'll figure out. Oh, fuck, there's actually big money right now. It's solar. Okay, no, I understand electricity and how to move it and how much energy we need to, what I can prove that solar panels on roofs will do for the households of an entire city. And then they do that, they get paid for that. They made that up just because solar companies did whatever, which also solar panels, I think, are made of gasoline. Or we are going to need to use gasoline to get them. Okay, we use gasoline. If there is a carbon issue in the atmosphere, it'd be dope to not have that. The thing is, everything is getting more exciting, and we're getting more things to us than ever.
Quicker. That is an issue. Like, we get things, like, we demand more and more.
Canada
and more.
has fucking dragon fruit and bananas just are like, oh yeah, bananas, dude, they are from so fucking far away. You haven't even traveled as much as that goddamn banana, have you?
No.
But the bananas are going across the fucking world.
Another thing with our climate policy in Canada, though, is, like, we say, like, Trudeau's whole thing is, like, we lead by example. Here's the scary part.
Trudeau is fucking garbage right now.
He's garbage. But he says we lead by example, and you look at, like, this is always my argument, like, look at China.
Politicians are garbage. You become garbage when you become a politician because of all the fucking money that's invested and how they need to continue making money. Go on. Sorry, I cut you off about China.
No, okay, so China is, like, insane. Like, everything from their wet markets to, like, their factories, everything about China is insane.
They're fucking gangsters.
And
they make all of our stuff. It's amazing. I love China.
That whole thing's a whole other
They're
topic.
amazing.
They're amazing.
Dude,
they supply us.
This cell phone here, probably the materials, like, I don't even know where this can's from. It's from Calgary.
The reason I wear Nikes is because of slave labor.
This very hat. I was given this hat after Burning Man because the guy thought I looked great in it, and I'm super thankful for it.
Someone said that was a filthy hat. I never even noticed it's a filthy hat.
It's made in China. So, and he's like, yeah, the quality is super fucking great. It's amazing.
Yeah, but you look at China, like, trying to come in and control us and shit and wanting to get all this power.
Filthy
like, they
hat,
have all of our
filthy
manufacturing
beauty.
figured out over there. So dependent on them. But here's the thing. Trudeau says he's in the pocket of China. He's always talking about how he appreciates their basic dictatorship.
We are, because we forced ourselves into it.
I know.
Selling our trees to it.
But Trudeau's no better because he
And
is,
then we rebuy because they make everything, and then we rebuy things cheap, and then we're just like, woo, whip-de-dee.
I know, and Trudeau's only excuse is, like, when he's asked questions as, like, if we do this in Canada and we put the population through this and this huge reduction in all this carbon output, and you tax the people and you run them into the ground to the point where they're not even sustainable, how are you going to deal with China, who's the biggest emitter on the fucking planet? He says the only hope we have is by leading by example.
I had heard.
Leading by example is how we're going to change China's fucking carbon output. Wow. That's crazy. They're not going to do it. They're just going to, as they always do, they're going to capitalize on our stupidity. And they're going to maximize on it. Then they're going to drop people from the sky like they did in that fucking movie.
What movie?
Red Dawn. They're coming out of the sky.
I haven't seen that.
You ever seen Red Dawn?
All I know
Oh my
is
God.
Canada's fucked because we have no fucking guns. They're taking away our ARs and oh, I sound funny right now. I've actually been traumatized by guns in the past, and they're fucking loud, and they've been designed to kill people, and they're great at doing it. But you don't have to go and kill people with your guns.
But the stats show that that's not the issue. The stats in Canada show that the black market is the issue. The illegal importation of guns and mental health. Mental health. It shows that actually, it's the beautiful part. The Canadian PAL system, which I have my possession acquisition license. I've gone through it for both my long rifle and my restricted. And our system is like a fucking amazing system, which the states, they dream of having this system. All the liberals in the states, they dream of having this system because the system works. Our stats show it. So when the government comes for our guns, like the ARs are now the restricted, they're putting the national handgun restriction on. They're based off no actual stats. They're just based off woke buzzwords and stuff. It's insane.
I think they're just trying to make us have less power so then they can make us do what they want.
100%. That's what I think. I think that it's another red flag. Invocation of the Emergencies Act, we don't call it a coalition, but it's a coalition government between the Liberals and the NDP on a federal level. And then now we have this.
What does that mean?
It's just like a joint government to create a majority. It's a coalition. They're working together, but apparently it's not that. That's what they're doing. So now they have this. That's unprecedented apparently on the federal level. And now we have these gun laws that aren't based off actual statistics. They're based off buzzwords and wokeness. And the problem with that is that's another huge red flag of a government going farther away from a democracy and more towards an authoritarian state. Australia, for example, Their gun thing already happened, and they regret giving the government any of that fucking control. Canada had a PAL system that works beautifully if the government leaves it alone. But the idea is if you give the government federal control over guns, they do the shit they're doing right now. Which is why in the States there's this huge argument over, oh, we need to take the ARs away. Just the ARs, like that's where it starts. You give the federal government control, and they're doing what they did in Australia and what they're doing in Canada now. As soon as you give the fucking federal government control over guns, they go fucking crazy with it. And it never lasts. Like, Canadian PAL system is the perfect example of a very well-organized system to give people guns and have them be responsible about it, and the stats show it as best as they can. And now they come for us, and they pull our ARs, and they pull our handguns based off no actual statistics, just woke titles and woke ideologies that are just not real. Like, for example, Trudeau says, because of the Uvalde shooting in Texas, the school shooting, he said he acts on that to do the handguns thing in Canada, which is, I knew this was coming for a year. So I bought my handguns a long time ago. And then sure enough, it happens. And he says his excuse is 28% of femicides in Canada are from legal gun-abiding citizens with their PAL. 28% of femicides. So for those of you who don't know what a femicide is, it's another word, it's a buzzword for homicides, but it's female specific. So there's spousal murders. 28% of men who have killed their wives have killed them with registered firearms. And he banned handguns off this statistic. But those handguns, in that statistic of 28% of those murders, those are actually, I think the vast majority, 90 or 88% of those guns used in those murders that were legal gun owners were actually long rifles. They weren't even handguns. So that 12% of handguns or whatever it was, they were handguns. But then my thing is, like, if you're crazy and you're going to kill your wife, you're going to do it any other way you can. You're not going to use it because you have a gun. You're a psychopath. You got a mental health problem.
A knife, a bed.
You're a lot more long, drawn out, gruesome.
Take a car and like cut the brakes. We are not very violent people, by the way.
We're not. We're just talking numbers here. We have been not reading comments. We've been ranting.
Hold on. Fucking old Joe Rogan, who me and Tanner both listen to, and I listen to him because I just like what he says, and I don't like everything he says, and I'm trying to think for myself, but a lot of what he says kind of seems to just ring true. And what he said is people don't want to come to the moment or to the uncomfortability of a moment where if someone like broke into your home and they had a gun and you had to confront them with a gun, because if not, they have one, and
you're not allowed in Canada. If you do,
no.
Yeah, if you do, you are now the same thing as anyone else on any other situation.
We can have guns and not kill each other. And we do it. And a ton of us have guns.
But in Canada, if you slug someone with even a bat or any sort of blunt object, if they break in your home, they got your wife at gunpoint, you slap him out with a bat, and he's on the ground, even if he dies or not, you can still get charged exactly the same way as if you just walked up to a guy on the street and hit him with that said bat.
I think that
crazy.
We can take all the guns away, but the police and government shouldn't have any guns too.
Like, look at the
That's what has to happen.
Well, no, but look at the whole.
Or we all gotta have fucking guns. If we all got guns, all of us are chilled, because who are the fucking bad motherfuckers? We gotta.
Janie has a gun.
We gotta be real and communicate and be like, yo, we know they have guns, but we're driving together. We have guns too.
Here's
so
the thing,
if they want
though.
to come fucking die, they can.
Here's the thing that bugs me. The federal gun buyback program. Wow, you're gonna give me money for my gun? That's so kind of you. I'll give it back to you. Listen, I never bought my AR from the federal government. No, I bought it from a licensed gun dealer. Who's licensed the federal government? Listen, didn't buy it from them. Whatever. Here's the thing. Federal gun buyback program is a very fancy, liberal, modern, woke version of saying federal gun confiscation program. Calm down, Hitler.
They're going to
come with the guns, with guys with guns. If you don't give up your gun, a guy with a gun shows up and takes your gun. Wow, that sounds right. Wow, what do they call them guys? The SS? That's insane.
Who's the SS?
The Nazis.
Yeah, so
Nazi police.
Tanner's getting excited, and we talk. Dude, I get excited too. I don't need to fucking tell people what they are. Fuck.
I gotta go piss, and I gotta get the dog.
I kind of.
You tell them what's up.
Tanner.
Tell people to reduce their carbon footprint.
Tanner talked about this the other day. He talked about how in the past they've had people with guns show up to people's houses that are trying to hold on to their guns. And you know how they know you have a gun? registered gun owners, the people who are like literally registered and try not to break rules. Hi, Bella. They show up with guns and force you to not have them anymore, then to force you to do things that whatever they want to gain wealth, to gain you to be able to gain wealth. Yeah. So I don't mean to be a downer. Yeah. What are we gonna do? We have everybody we have. We have as much stuff as we have. If you're a grocery store owner and you waste food, think about sharing it. Maybe, I know it's difficult because you need money to get something from somebody, but if you could maybe do a trade and not need the money because money's theoretical, or money that you need to get extracting resources to go buy a coffee to continue to survive.
Bella says hi.
It's gonna be unsustainable. Well, it's known to be.
What's that thing around your neck, dude? What is that?
This is a scarf, man. A sarong. Someone asked in the comment section what this is.
Dust
around your
control at
neck.
music festivals, essentially. And heat, sun
You can
rays.
wear it as a tail. You can wear it up over your head. You can wear it right here.
You want to look like a Sith Lord? That's the way to do it. Oh, the Senate.
Yeah, don't I look warm and cozy? I saw Europeans doing this, and I quite like it.
Remember when Palpatine said, "I am the Senate"?
Have
in
you guys
Star
seen
Wars?
Star Wars?
Everyone's seen Star Wars. If they
Not
haven't,
everybody.
simps. Listen, remember when he said, "I am the Senate"? Remember that?
No, actually, I don't.
Okay, he said that.
What episode, sorry?
This was like Revenge of the Sith. I am the Senate. Fauci, what did he say? I am science.
Anthony
That's good.
Fauci from...
Oh, the lead top doctor of America. That's what they say. They get these politicized doctor. It's like, this is our guy. Trust me.
Oh,
Trust
dude,
this
the
guy.
Canadian Japanese girl who I actually liked at first.
Oh, Dr. Teresa Tam?
Yeah, she's real nice.
Actually, a dude.
Can this dog go outside?
No, she stays in here. Bella, come.
Bella, you gotta stay.
Come here.
No. Yeah.
Teresa Tam, the actual Darth Sidious of Canada. We must get on path to 100% vaccination. What a crazy bitch. That chick was nuts. She's still nuts. Andor is awesome. Oh, buddy. Listen, I agree 1,000% that the new Andor series is actually just like, it's so refreshing because right now, as it stands, it's not getting into the Skywalker trilogy. It's just like classic backworld Star Wars stuff. Like we're getting into the political stuff. We're going back to Coruscant. We're getting into all that stuff. So, dude, where this series is going is just like so exciting. I bet Palpatine's going to be in it. He's coming. He's the main leader. They've already talked about him. We're going, dude. I like this new Star Wars series. Bella the Ball. What's the thing around your neck? Yeah, guys with guns. Currency. We haven't been reading any comments. We haven't been reading any comments. I like to be very engaged with comments. But yeah, just basically all people being like, yeah,
neighbor,
dude.
you're still accountable is what someone said. And yeah, why would you kill your neighbor?
Hey, listen. Why? You know why you kill your
Don't kill
neighbor?
people.
Because the government came in and they turned neighbors on each other, and now the neighbor's like, you're having more than 5 people at your house on Christmas at a family gathering. Call the cops. And you know what? Honestly, there's a song by Omerta. Is that Omerta, the death metal band?
I don't like that
They're like, I don't either. But this dude, the intro to the song is like, it's like, he who favors the law over their neighbor is a coward. And it's so true because the law was never really a thing, and it came in and it was like, now they've dictated to the point where like people are turning on their neighbors. Your neighbor's like your first line of defense. Your neighbor is like your neighbor. The word neighbor is like, neighbor, dude. What's up? I can rely on you. Watch my house. I'll watch yours.
What's up,
take
my
care of my
neighbor?
goats. I'll take care of your horses. We're tight. If the government ever comes for us, we're going to fucking stand up. We're all going to be united. But now they're like, hey, man, your neighbor has more than 5 people at their house. You should be very scared, by the way, because they're transmitting that thing that's got a 99.6% survival rate. And you should report them to us so we can send the SS in there to deal with it. Now you've turned neighbors on each other. So when it comes down to like, if you got to take your neighbor out, well, maybe there's a justified cause.
I think, damn it. there's people that will come and take your neighbor to the left, like the government, and if you don't speak up about it and you don't like protect them, they're the closest people near you. Okay, so your neighbors to the left have been taken. Now you're being quiet, and the neighbors to the right have been taken. The SS or anybody has forced them out of their home, and you don't speak up about it. And when they arrive to your home, you have no neighbors, and there's no one to protect you from taking you from your space. Fucking trippy, fucking scary and sad to think about. Neighbors, they divide and conquer. They work their system and their idealisms, like the things that made you have arguments with your family members recently. Think about where it ever came from. If it was from news, and if it was fear or love, really, that you were guided in your conversation, because they're doing a great job of dividing the people. And dude, if you don't even have a fucking family to rely on, which my family has been separated through the fears that have been inflicted on them, we're fucked. Who do I have now? I have a part of a family left, and we're separated by, we live in different homes in different cities. Now if someone comes for any of my family, like in whatever situations.
I'm not going to enlist for World War III. I will be fucking tucking tail and running like the fellers are doing over in Russia.
Nice, yeah, the ones who were...
They're like, man, this war is bullshit.
Yeah.
They're like, we're not doing
They're
this.
too educated.
Yeah, they're like, we're out of here. They're like, we don't have no shame in saying we're not fighting this war. If it was a real war, someone's invading our land, something real is going on, we would do it. But it's like, this is just a complete bullshit. Like Putin told them in the beginning. Not saying Putin bad, man. Putin understands what the West is doing. But also Putin say, no war, military exercise. And then all of a sudden, a draft for 300,000 Russians to come in and fight a war. No, that's a lie. You lied to your civil. And so that's why when people in Canada are like, oh no, Ukraine. It's like, what do you think? The government don't lie to people? Man, they lie to everybody. And then you got you Putin over there lying to them, saying it's a military exercise and drafting everyone for war in the first wave, 300,000 people. There's going to be a second and a third wave, by the way. What's that all about?
You're selected now. You need to go, and you may get a gun or not, or you may have bullets or not, and you need to go fight these people for their territory. Where you were just at a house, no, fuck, man, their situation's so crazy because I heard they have a lot more poor people than we do. We're coming from a super privileged Canadian upbringing.
We're
like,
white.
Not.
We're white.
They're white as fuck.
Hey, I'm
It doesn't
white.
matter your skin
I'm
color.
whiter. Okay?
Getting red because we're allergic to alcohol.
Just when all the colors were getting along, the government has to come in and tell us we're all just misogynistic racists.
You're racist, aren't you?
Just when we were all the most united we've ever been. Nope! Sorry, white people. You're bad. Orange man bad. Putin bad.
Okay, so that's really scary and a topic that's really fucking crazy. Russia invading Ukraine. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry there's bloodshed. I'm sorry that this is happening and it was going to, as Tanner may say. I realized when my twin brother and my father spoke to me individually and had their own fears and were projecting fear onto me about Russia invading Ukraine, it was exactly at the time that the Freedom Convoy in Canada initiated an idea around the world where Europe, America, and Australia, to my knowledge, and I believe some places in South America,
A lot of places.
started doing the same thing.
Freedom!
The first time I realized and felt like there was so much people standing together and things were going very good.
Time to distract those motherfuckers.
Bombard the motherfuckers with, hey, by the way, Russia's invading Ukraine. They did this
Exactly as we were in Ottawa. Exactly.
a couple years ago. They did this too. Russia invaded Ukraine. Ukraine and Russia have been at war. Their lands have been back and forth. That doesn't justify how much more bloodshed is happening. Probably, if that information is relevant. But I do know that it's fear, and it infected my my twin brother, and it infected my dad. So much so that they needed
Uh-oh.
to talk to me.
Gimbal died. Hold on a second, folks. We got to put this camera up in a manual position because my gimbal just died.
That gimbal doesn't stay stiff and do whatever it wants.
No, it does. Like, it's meant to be like this, but then the battery's just like, nope. Can you pass me a couple beer cans? And we'll make a pyramid of, we'll make a pyramid tripod. Like Alan Jackson would have back in his time. So, like, to equate that height, we're probably going to need, like, 2 more cans. 2 more full boys. Unless we have to drink them. Oh, you're scaring me. He's working with the Alexander Pale Ales.
For a stack.
Watch this. Now we can go like this. And we can put this here. And we can just move this back over here. And now you and I have a fucking Alan Jackson style pyramid can tripod. Look at
Happy
that.
Friday, everybody.
Even better. Beer to the rescue. Bush
Tire
Rider.
Roasters Garage. It's really nice to be over at Tanner's. It's really nice to kind of freely think and be able to eat and sleep as I please without judgment. Knowing that we're just trying to kind of whatever he needs to do in the day, or his partner or me, everyone kind of respects those facts and makes us freely move. I guess there's been nothing insanely fucking traumatizing about what we're doing that we need to talk about it.
Like what?
I mean, like me starting a fire in your living room because it's part of my tradition.
You start fire?
I don't yet, but maybe someone might. Maybe, yeah, so that's been super pleasing. And it's really nice to get near people that think the same as you. And if you guys think the same as us, I hope this just enlightens you, and we're here to make you feel like you're more community. And I mean, we're coming up with ideas as the largest issues show up, and we're not giving up. We're still having fun. We're taking care of each other. Daily exercise, fucking clear your mind. You can lose weight and you can be super smart the way you are.
Yeah, don't let them motherfuckers tell you that you need some jab to be healthy. That's all just bullshit.
You don't need
You don't need-
psychedelics either if you're not into them. I wish you tried them with me.
You don't need the goddamn jab. You need to go to the fucking gym and get off the Cheetos. And as much as you don't want to get off the Cheetos, I miss the Cheetos, but buddy, life's good. And you know what? I got the Delta. I lost my taste and smell for a month, so I believe it's real. But here's the thing. I never got it again. And I got friends that got the jab that got it like 3 fucking times. I don't understand. Health maybe has helped me.
Give me a drag of that.
Natural immunity. Remember they told us that wasn't a thing? Oh man, how crazy is that? That's not a thing? Well, it's always been a thing. Why is it not a thing now? Oh, the cold flu went away for 2 years. Now it's back. Now we got
Got a call from the partner.
You want a message with me on the old god? Oh, you're on military time.
Yeah. 24-hour clock, can't be confused. It's helpful for taking flights and things.
Who else is drinking beer here?
I wonder, I'm not trying to talk to everyone. Oh man, that has a fucking after nasty taste, that tobacco.
How dare you? Those are Marlboro Menthols from America. I don't smoke, but I smoke, right? When I go down to America, I grab a pack, I'm smoking.
Buddy, I grabbed a pack of 25 grams of pipe tobacco for $1.70 American.
Here's a question. Why hide the data for 70 years? Why is that a thing? Why hide the data for 70 years? Why gaslight the population when they say, hey man, this thing didn't work? No, it worked. It worked. And then it's like, hey, it didn't work 3 months later. Oh, well, it reduces the amount. It's like, but you apologize to us because you were wrong. No. No, it's because it mutates. That's why it doesn't work.
Hey,
Wow.
big ups to the guy drinking whiskey. And what is going on with Event 201? Do you know something about that?
Nope.
Yeah, someone hashtag Event 201. I used to live in an apartment building called 201. Actually, it was 209. So can't help you with 201 right now. Dude, those cigarettes, ew.
Ew, what?
I
All
don't-
cigarettes are ew. Don't smoke.
Why is it you smoke?
We're gaslighting the audience. I don't know what that means.
You're gaslighting your audience.
Well, how are we gaslighting them?
Gaslighting
Tell us.
your
Tell us.
audience.
How are we gaslighting them? How are we doing it?
I don't actually
know.
care what I'm doing to the audience. Okay, so I was hitchhiking and I got picked up by a gentleman.
We're just sharing knowledge.
I felt
Our idea.
slightly homosexual with his partner in the front, but I can
Who?
confirm that he was close to.
Who's a homo?
He's close to the person who picked me up hitchhiking, and I only
He tried to
stayed
get
there
on
for
you?
like 4 minutes. No, he didn't try to get on me, but the way he was kind of super soft and gentle to his male friend in the front seat. Potentially they were, but regardless of that, cool. I just like to.
I gotta make a phone call here.
I like figuring things out.
You got a key
No.
lock?
No. You're free to just hit the middle button and then
Can you keep chatting? I'm gonna
go
call
to-
Wit up. and
go
see
to
what she's
Wit.
up to.
yeah. Whitney or Witty is Tanner's partner, who is very important to us.
No
SIM
card.
No, you can't call, dude. Go on
on
Facebook
internet.
Messenger. Yeah, use your beautiful internet service, which I'm so thankful that you have and I get to use to be able to connect to all of you. So the peeps, he's a nurse, but in the front seat, who is driving, who picked me up hitchhiking under a bridge, going from Victoria up Island, Canada. He just says everything so pungently negative and complaining about it. And then when it comes down to it, we have kind of the most triggering thing is I was literally listening to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is just a guy of his own who has lived an interesting life. He's old now and he has some kids and I don't know, I think he's kind of straight-headed. And he says, fuck that guy, because he said that we should just kill the people on the street in Los Angeles or New York because they are, okay, we should just kill these people. I think he just said it like just off the whim because it's just a thing that comes to human minds' heads. It's not gonna happen. He didn't do it. And then when people, okay, so what goes on? He says it. This guy is like, that guy is fucking accountable. Okay, the guy who is in the front seat, we're kind of having a debate now. He tells me, like, that guy's fucking accountable for that, and people who have that amount of following are accountable. And I kind of thought to myself, like, I just listened to this guy because he...
Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because he says things that I like. And it's on a platform that you don't have to or you are not forced to watch or listen to. And that's the same here. And to spend your time being on a platform listening to people that you don't agree with and then just like complaining about it and telling people like they're a problem, which there's many situations here and life is not easy. It's complex and we are complex. And if you're smart, you talk and you communicate, think things out thoroughly, and do the best you can. You don't have to listen to him. And he is so popular because he speaks so much truth and people want to tune into him. He has that amount of followers. It's literally just right over here on the wall. It's not. It's on Spotify. It's recorded. It's in a zone. You choose to go to it. People choose to go to it. It's not fucking pushed on people, and then it's not pushed on people to do something. You choose what you do. And take that responsibility for yourself and treat people how you would like to be treated. So what's happening when maybe you say something to me and or anyone says something to me and I need to do it? I may have confidence issues. I may need approval from a father figure or a mother figure. I may have been tricked, abused. Something to be aware of for yourself. Fucking sit down, do some breaths. I'm very into Wim Hof breathing and taking breaths for yourself literally fuels yourself, and anything that is resisting you from taking those breaths in the moment are things that are up in your fucking ass or things that you need to deal with. And maybe you got to do that yourself. I don't think it's someone's fault if they say to go kill people. It's your fault if you do that. You're accountable. You don't need to do that. People do a lot of things. You can go to Israel and join the army if you want. You can go join ISIS. You can join a cult. It's up to you. We are all impressionable, and we are all victims of advertising, and we're all victims to advertising, and we're all victims to how cute this dog is. We're all victims to wanting to eat, and we can be crazy. We can get crazy. Human, baby. Just animals. Okay, so, oh, witty. She may see that, right?
May not. I don't know. We should end this live stream.
Hey.
Get on with our night. Do some drinking. We've shared our intellect or our opinions on things, and everyone's engaged. It's been fun. And yeah, thanks for coming over. Thanks for being on the live stream.
No problem. It was a little surprising and exciting. Now that a bunch of time has passed, it just feels like look how much time has passed. And
155 minutes is like 2.5 or something hours. Yeah, 2.5 hours.
I think about people that could be watching. It stresses me out. I think about people that could be offended, and then it makes me want to not be my whole self. And that's a distraction and not so good. Don't purposely hurt people because you're hurting, but don't not be yourself because you're going to give yourself cancer if you do that. We'll do one more shotgun.
We'll do one more shotgun, and we'll wrap this up. It's been fun. My current form of live streaming that I've been doing, where it's just me chatting, I'm not into that as much. I like this whole having somebody on here, which is why I brought Colin on, my best friend. And going into the future, like I said, we got Clyde Do Something on Wednesday. And then also I have one last burnout I have to do. I've been putting off because this car was out of commission. And I haven't been able to get anyone to do a burnout. But I got one more burnout I want to do for the Patreon. So you can check out the Patreon link below. And yeah, so anyone who supports, who's donating to the Patreon, thank you very much. We are coming into the final burnout, and then just whatever we're going to do forward with that, get creative. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out as I go here. This YouTube thing's still very new to me. But Kentucky vids are mint. Thanks. Salvadage27. Thank you so much. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for watching, and here's a shotgun for y'all. One last one.
The more you give, it kind of comes back to you.
Cheers, Con.
We are literally creators and want to create what we can to make the best content for you guys to, for me, be inspired and do your thing the best you can. And as we navigate through life, going to the grocery store, maybe we're gonna have some fucking dope friends that just like have a farm that we can go get, or they provide us with food, and it's an equal transaction. And I would say for Tanner to like genuinely love you guys and look at you and listen to you. We want to fight to protect. We want to inspire you, and we want you to be thrilled. And that's what I like about Tanner.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Cheers, Con.
Cheers.
Damn, that's sassy. Them IPAs go down thick. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And we'll catch you in the next live stream on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time with Clyde Do Something. Going to be a fun one. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.
Good luck, guys. Be well.
Hiya.